one who is severely handicapped needs to fear that they will get paid any less. In fact, they're going to see an increase. We want them to be able to earn more money before losing their benefits. And we're hearing a lot of support in the disabilities community.
This province is the only province that is actually expanding disability supports. This province is the only province that is actually expanding disability supports.
AISH Actions Revolutionary Podcast.
Chantal and Gavin.
You have now entered the no bullshit zone.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the big show. It's going to be a day to reckon with. Hey, Chantal.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
You're looking good in black once again.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that's your color. That is your color. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to have you with us. We thank you for joining us. There's a lot to discuss today. For one, I see a lot of people out there on Facebook, in the chats, on the pages, everywhere, really starting to freak out. And because I received my letter today, and I, a man of 60 years old, only 6 weeks from the transition, have been moved to ADAP. So we'll get to my conversation with the AISH hotline today. They certainly aren't, what do you call it? CSL, customer service.
Yeah.
They certainly aren't customer service. They don't give a red rat's ass about any of us. But I'll tell you what I said to them today. We will be breaking down the Peter Lougheed thing, and a man that tried to do the best he could, being a politician and somewhat of an oligarch himself. He certainly understood what the writer or the founder of capitalism understood, and that is that if you don't take care of the least of these, you, number one, are not entitled to capitalism, and number two, capitalism will never survive. So at least I think Lougheed understood that, and I forget the guy's name, John Smith, something like that. I'll look it up. But he was the founder of this really bad idea called capitalism. And right now we see the late stages of it. We see the beginning of a sort of totalitarianism, inverted totalitarianism, although totalitarianism all the same. So I will be discussing that along with my illustrative co-host. And so where do you want to start, Chantal? What do you want to talk about?
Well, we can start just about anywhere. I'm kind of curious as to what the AISH helpline had to say.
Oh, sure. Let's start there, shall we? Let's start with real good news. So I called the customer service AISH line today after I got my letter. And of course, I knew it was going to come to no avail because there's nothing these individuals can do sitting at a nice cozy desk or at their home, feeding their dog, getting their kids off to school, and collecting a paycheck and doing nothing more but that. So I knew nothing tremendous was going to come of the conversation, and therefore I was ready to speak my own mind. Hey, Pam. Good to see you. Let me know that you can see us all and we're all good. You can hear, see, and everything else. Okay. Thanks, Pammy. So, I can't recollect all of the phone call, but I basically told them that, I ran a podcast with over 1,000 views in 3 weeks, and that, people are tuning in and listening and gaining information and speaking their mind. And they are angry, they are depressed. Every part of their current situation has now been heightened ad infinitum. And I said, you cannot absolve yourself of this. You sitting in that chair. And man, I wish there were more people in the podcast right now, but because I think what I'm about to say, everybody needs to hear. And that is, and I told this lady this, and I'll get into it, but by the involvement of every person that answers a phone call for you from this moment onward, as far as I'm concerned, they are complicit in the destruction of 80,000 lives. Now, why do I say that? I say it because it's true. It is 100% true. These people cannot absolve themselves of what I consider to be a criminal act. So in talking to this lady today, I, just spoke my mind. I said 80,000 lives are about to be destroyed, and you can't help. There's nothing you can do. There is zero you can do. And this is anathema to the human species, to the way we work as people. So you can't even consider yourself really a true human being, because you are losing a part of yourself, and you are as complicit as anyone making this legislation in Edmonton. And Chantal has already broken down that this is far wider in scope than just Alberta. It's funny, Danielle Smith, said about a year ago, we hope that people start to adopt our grand way of giving to the disabled community, and follow our lead in that. And now they're following our lead to perdition, to Dante's hell. So it wasn't a year ago that she was saying we do things really well and we hope other provinces align with us. But these fucking provinces couldn't wait for a bad idea to arise so they could adopt this. And that's what they're doing. So it's just not Alberta, but it is Alberta. And at least we lead in something, albeit that is the destruction of 80,000 lives, ostensibly said. So the one thing that I told this CSR, this customer service representative, was that, because she said, I'm sorry, I really can't help you. And I have a lot of people on the line and they need my help. I said, help for what? How are you going to help these people? I said, but that's fine. I wanted to end the conversation on my terms. I wasn't going to have somebody hang up on me again. No fucking way. I'm in it again on my terms. So I said to her, look, I'll let you go. I know you got what you consider work to do, which is nothing more than collecting a paycheck, of which 80,000 people can't. Hope you lose. We really hope you lose it, because then you'll know what it feels like to be fucked. I said, but I want you to remember this. She said, what? Because she said, right, I have to go, I have other people to help. I have people waiting on the line. I said, that's fine. I want you to go. I'm not going to take up your time. I want you to remember one thing. She said, what's that? I said, the same thing that you just said to me, the Nazi guard said in 1939. I am just following the orders. That's you, honey. And she stopped. She didn't hang up the phone. She stopped. And she felt the weight of those words. I know she did. And she said, well, I guess I said goodbye. And I hung up the phone. So you got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that if we're in this fight, we're fighting more than just a couple assholes in Edmonton. In some ways, we're, an entire working class, because of their lack of understanding how the world really works, they are falling in line and just as complicit as any other individual would have been. Jordan Peterson, like him or hate him, I like what Jordan Peterson had to say. I think he's kind of fucked now, but he's the professor. He was one of the professors of psychology at the U of T. He's an Albertan as well. But one thing that was really instructive to me, something that helped me to understand myself better, was when he, in one of his YouTube, lectures with his class, he said, you got to understand that if you would have asked the Nazi guard in 1936 if he'd throw live people into an oven, he'd probably punch you in the face for asking the question. And in 1939, he was. He was throwing people into an oven. En masse. Into gas chambers, into ovens. Yeah. So the one thing we don't realize as human beings is that we inhabit two things. We are a duality of species. We harbor the most grand benevolence the world has ever seen. We are created that way, to love, to care, to act on behalf of our neighbor, to take part in the political, to keep people safe, to give someone a sandwich, right? We are the Good Samaritan. That is part of our nature. However, there is another part of our nature that is altogether the most nefarious, evil, destructive, horrific part that even nature itself could never comprehend. The lion or the tiger do what they do for survival, not for sport, not out of ideology. The lion doesn't think itself better than the jackal. It just needs to eat. And this is the other part of our humanity. And this is what Hannah Arendt, great Jewish philosopher of the mid-century, coined the term the banality of evil. And this is the bureaucratic system. It is evil on paper. It is evil in a letter. This is decapitation. No matter whether or not that word is literal or figurative, it is a decapitation of 80,000 people. So this is all I had to say to my representative. I've been going back and forth as to how to deal with shitty people and what the best address to them is, what the best responses are to them. And I'm starting to get a handle on that. When I had that East Indian lady tell me not to touch her on Monday, that was a moment. It was a real moment for me. Like I told you, I at her behest, I put my hands on Joe Rivers' tits and ass.
Mm-hmm.
And this chick, I couldn't even just lightly touch her arm. Now, I know what you said, Chantal. You know, she might be a cultural thing. It might be, you know, she also might be fucked in the head. Um, but the fact that she treated me no differently after that, even when I took my hands off her, is at least two things. Let's say it's three things. The first two are the ones that you spoke about, and I'll grant you that. But there's a third element here too, which is privilege, which is I'm better than you, and I have no time for you. That was this chick. That is absolutely Jeremy Farkas. And I have the video to prove it. I'm just, I wrote a song a couple days ago. And I really wanted to just get it together for, you know, to put it together for the cast. But what I realized is it's going to take me at least a week to finish this video. Because the song is very visceral and it's going to need a lot of moving parts. And it's going to need my creativity to sit with it and think about how I want to, you know, I don't know, how I want to portray every scene.
Yeah.
I'll let you in on a preview. I can tell you that at the moment there is a scene with Jeremy Farkas sitting in a men's restroom on a toilet, farting and shitting. So I'll give that much away. Of course, it's all done in good taste, but I'll tell you what, as long as our species has been alive, like maybe 50,000 years, the fart joke has always been funny and it will always remain funny. So, so I have that, but it's going to take some time. I love the song. I think it is extra special. So I'm going to work on that and get that out. So that was my experience on the phone today. You know, Chantal, if you hear it in my voice, I am a little upset today.
Yeah, I can hear that you're a little down.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, down. I'm, you know, because that's where I'll go. I'll go to kind of this melancholic place, you know. Of course, I will rebound from it, but I'm not melancholic right now. I'm really fucking angry because of the complicity all across the board and the fact that we have no recourse. We have zero recourse. There is no one standing in our corner. I will say, like, I've been pretty busy today. I called the the people putting together the Riley Park protest tomorrow, the union, the one in Edmonton they're doing as well. They're doing it 3 locations in Calgary and probably a few in Edmonton. Yeah. Yeah. So I talked with them today. Really beautiful sounding secretary. As a matter of fact, I thanked her for being as kind and as spirited as she was, because of who I just gotten off the phone with. Plus, I've been dealing with my community navigator because, ladies and gentlemen, just as everything is going to shit, I'm getting an apartment. So I was on the phone texting. I had to go on CRA, and if anybody's been to CRA, they know how much of a pain in the ass that is just to log on. And I've been dealing with, you know, bed frames and beds and couches and, you know. And I guess Sleep Country has a program, if anybody out there is interested, where you can get a brand new mattress for free, never been slept in, because what they do is they donate their old models. Never knew it. Didn't know that. So if you're looking for a new mattress and your other one, you know, has so many bed bugs, you're waking up on the floor because they've carried you there during the night. You know, just reach out and get, you know, Sleep Country. I mean, that's a nice deal, and I appreciate the fact that they're doing it. It takes a village, and I think that's a nice idea. You know, so yeah, I will be moving here very shortly, and I am in some ways looking forward to that, and in others not. My biggest concern is air conditioning, because that place is a literal indigenous sweat lodge of 500 square feet. I mean, it is brutal, man. So I'm looking online to get an air conditioning unit of some BTUs, so there's that. Chantal, that's what I have to say. What says you?
Well, it's been busy on my front. Just to go over kind of what I've been putting out for the last couple of days since Tuesday when we were last on. Where is it here? Just because I want to get the number right. So there were 89 emails that ended up going out.
In terms of?
To all of the coalition that ended up standing up and saying, no, we need to pause ADAP.
Okay.
Grab the email here because I posted everything on the group. Here. This one. Let's grab this one. All right. So I ended up sending, again, like I said, 89 emails to everywhere in Alberta, like usual. I included the Cage Doesn't End compilation, the plain language version, and the income crossover analysis that we went over on Tuesday. And my email is basically what follows. So in April or May of 2026, your council passed a motion calling on the government of Alberta to pause or reconsider the AISH-to-ADAP transition. Now, the email that I'm reading from is for Camrose. But all the emails that went out were basically like the same, but they were just tailored to every individual. Here, the Alberta Disability System Breakdown writes to acknowledge that leadership and to put before you what the documented record now establishes about the program you voted to pause, and what action at the scale of that record now requires from the coalition that led the call. The three documents attached to this letter are the foundation of what follows. The Cage Doesn't End, Disability, Aging, the Canadian Income Security. It's 117-page compilation, sourced to government in Canada, sourced to Government of Canada and Government of Alberta open data, Statistics Canada, federal and provincial statute, United Nations treaty, and peer-reviewed research. It documents the architecture of which, or by which, disability poverty in Alberta operates not as circumstance, but as a life cycle. Entered young, navigated for decades, transformed at 65 into a different cage, and existed only through deterioration or death, or exited only through deterioration or death, right? Yeah. So the income crossover analysis, revised in May of this year, tests the government of Alberta's stated rationale for ADAP. That it will support disabled Albertans to pursue employment and improve their financial outcomes against the government's own published numbers. So both documents are sourced to primary record. Both are free to read, free to share, and free to verify. So basically do your homework, right?
Right.
When ADAP was first announced, Albertans with disabilities were told the program would help. They were told it would expand opportunity, reflect diverse abilities, and that those who could not work would remain on AISH. The income crossover analysis sets out what the government of Alberta's own May 12, 2026 fact sheet now confirms. For a single recipient, ADAP only out-earns AISH at sustained employment of 26 to 40 hours per week. A level of consistency, the qualifying medical condition structurally preclude for most recipients. For a two-recipient household, the new 88% cohabitation rule under AR 96 compounds with the AISH-to-ADAP base rate cut and the federal Canadian Disability Benefit clawback to produce annual household losses of up to $14,611 per year. Entered before the recipient works a single hour or receives a single new placement letter. The math does not match the messaging, right? And I think that's the biggest thing. The Alberta government has been spouting all of this bogus bullshit that, oh, ADAP is going to be so awesome for everybody. They're going to make more money. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. They're going to find, a better quality of life while, as apparently in the workforce. Yeah, the messaging isn't matching what the data says.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to run down the letter I got today, and we can talk about the fact that except for getting my name right, everything on there is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, in the week of May 12th, 2026, the government of Alberta began issuing AISH-to-ADAP placement letters across the province. Now, I don't know if you noticed that, Gavin. A lot of our letters, I don't know if they mass printed them all out or not, but all of them say May 12th.
May 12th.
Yeah, they were all printed May 12th.
Let me take a look. Holy shit, you're right.
Yeah. Now, do you remember what else came out May 12th?
No.
The ADAP discussion guide.
Oh, that's right.
That's when it went live.
Right.
So about the cohabitation rule, none of that was ever, released prior to us or prior to them mass printing our letters.
Mm-hmm.
So we had no idea what was coming until the letters came in and until the 12th when they actually released the thing.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Sneaky fuckers.
I mean, George Bush Jr. would call it campaign shock and awe, and the Nazis would have called it blitzkrieg, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yep.
But I figured I'd point that out because as soon as I saw that, it was like, huh. And then everybody posting simultaneously their own letters. It's all the 12th. Everything was printed on the 12th.
Yeah.
Like, amazing.
That's what mine says, yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, and we still don't know how they decided which people were going to stay and which ones were going to go.
Right.
Because they still haven't released that information.
Well, looks like we're all going. Looks like we're all taking the ride, man.
Yeah. Well, I know that there's been a couple of people that have messaged into the campaign saying, oh, well, I got my letter. I'm staying on AISH. And it's like, that's great. That's awesome. You're staying on the program. But we'll see what they do with changing that program. Right?
Right. You're already losing $200. So what, you think it's going to end there? Just like the middle class doesn't think they're coming for them?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, good for you.
Exactly.
Good for you. You're safe. You can breathe today. But there are your brothers and sisters of 50 to 80,000 out there right now that are having heart palpitations and felt like you did yesterday. Okay? Just remember that.
Exactly. So approximately 50,000 Albertans are being transitioned to ADAP. Approximately 30,000 will remain on AISH. The criteria, and I got those numbers specifically from the criteria that distinguishes the two streams, right? So their list of people that were exempt from moving, right? Which we already know is kind of BS because a lot of people on PDD are saying that they're getting letters that are saying that they're going to ADAP, which they were part of the protected group. Right? So the criteria distinguishing the two streams, the criteria that determined which recipient received which letter have not been publicly published. As Shadow Minister Mary Renaud noted on May 14th, that is the most consequential unanswered question for the approximately 80,000 Albertans affected. So ministerial order references in the May 12th fact sheet defer the operational employment income clawback rates to a ministerial order that, as of the date of this letter, has not been published in the Alberta Gazette, right? So recipients are being placed under undisclosed criteria into a program built on undisclosed rates. And we covered that on Tuesday. So, of course, I had to put it all in there while it was fresh.
Right.
So the campaign is now receiving direct disclosures from constituents across the province, including transparently from members of the campaign itself who have received their own placement letters in the past 2 weeks, right? And they're still rolling in. So recipients are reporting placement on ADAP, on the ADAP stream, despite having been given to understand through prior caseworker communications, public messaging, or the nature of their permanent condition that they would remain on AISH.
Okay.
They were told they would stay, right? They are being moved. The campaign documents from inside the cohort it represents, which is something that no government body actually fucking does, right? They all sit outside of it and go, oh, well, this is what happened, or this is what's happening, but in actuality, that's not. So on May 21st, 2026, Charlie McDonald of Grand Prairie, whose husband has received AISH for 20 years, published a public account of the household income impact of the cohabitation rule that has been viewed approximately 65,000 times. The government of Alberta's response, repeated to media that day, was that no Albertan will see a benefit cut in July 2026 due to a $200 monthly transition top-up.
Okay.
I don't know how that's going to work. They're going to give us more money to be on ADAP for a year? Weird.
No, it's once again, everything the government is doing is bullshit. Under the guise of an explanatory framework that makes it look good if you don't just turn around what it is they're actually saying and look at it from the correct perspective, which is what all of your research has done and all of my rhetoric does. Can I pause you just for a second?
Yeah.
Because there's somebody, a guy, girl, somebody in the chat. No, they are stealing. Read it. Why is everyone regurgitating shit you do not go through? I don't understand what that means. You're going to have to be more explicit, not in your language, but in your definition.
Explanation.
Yeah, please. 88,000 medium, I guess, of theft will be $10,000 to 60,000 or 10,000 something, 60,000 per if a senior. Simple math. I don't understand what you're saying. Then you're talking about you've been on AISH since adulthood. Well, I'm glad you've been being taken care of. Good for you. And then you're saying that audit system was tested on me. So I'm not sure exactly what you're saying. I know people get confused with my verbiage sometimes, and I'll give them that. But Z, I don't understand what you're trying to say. So if you can put that into clarifying terms, I don't know if what you're saying is for or against. I don't know if what you're saying is meeting AISH-to-ADAP is an automatic audit system. Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, you could use whatever terminology you want, but audit is as good a terminology as any other word. I don't disagree with you there. Keep talking. I would like to know what it is you're attempting to say, in which I still need to get my head around. And I'm sure even Chantal, do you understand, Chantal?
It could be confusion about the numbers, like what's actually going to be paid out and what the losses are.
Okay.
Because I know that there's a lot of confusion in terms of that.
Right. And I would say, Z, that if there is confusion, this is not our fault.
No.
You know what I mean? I mean, you can't look at us, brother or sister. You're going to have to look at your fucking government, man, because nothing should be this complicated. As a matter of fact, the political system itself is not that complicated, but they've made it complicated. So, okay, so anyone that switches will get audited, agreed, by any other, a rose by any other name. Then they steal CPP in 1 week. Well, I don't know what you're I don't know what you mean. Do you know what he means?
Well, CPP is already deducted dollar for dollar from people that are already on AISH.
Okay. Okay.
So I don't think that's going to change going to ADAP. They're going to do the same thing.
Okay. Hey, ERC, good to see you, buddy. And Yasmin. Oh, hey, and Yasmin. Cool. Z, please keep speaking your mind. Just, if you can, for my sake, and probably Chantal's, and probably the entire chat, just make it a little more understandable what it is you are saying, so that we can have a better, easier flow, communication flow. That's all I ask. And if you can't, well, at least I asked you to. They took 11,000 from my CPP. Well, that sucks, bro. I mean, it's not like you're alone here. We feel your pain. We feel your pain, man. I mean, I haven't had that deducted, and I would think that would make me a little angry if that ever happened. So we're
Yeah, I know when I first applied for AISH and I got it, they told me that you had to apply for CPP benefits or like CPP contributions before they gave you anything from AISH. That was when I applied, and that was like, oh God, 2016.
Right. Yeah, my son isn't on AISH, but he applied for the CPP disability benefit.
Yeah,
and
so
he got like,
CPPD.
yeah, and he got like cash, man.
Yeah.
Like cash money. So I think he did all right. But if he would have been on AISH, it might have been a completely different story. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because the whole thing is, the CPP is supposed to be your pension for when you hit 65.
Right.
Right. But yet they want the government or the federal government to contribute to what you're getting from they want help with paying you from AISH so that AISH doesn't have to pay you as much. So they're robbing your CPP to pay you while you're still working age.
Right.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
The thing is here's where I think the government is stupid. I mean, they're stupid everywhere, but they're stupid in the fact that, man, the last thing you want to do is open up a fucking can of worms. Like, just pay people AISH, shut the fuck up, and you can rape the coffers of the Heritage Fund until you're blue in the fucking face. Right?
Yeah.
Like, just don't give yourself away. If you're smart, don't give yourself away. Keep it all under wraps. Just keep everybody happy. Right? That's how you do the nefarious shit you're doing. Instead, what do? You open up an entire fucking what would you call it? Investigation by the poorest class in society to come after your ass, even with the middle class in mind.
Yeah.
So now you've activated us to take on this thing that even the middle class is too stupid to understand. The reason they're running around going, we got to separate. No, motherfucker, this is you.
Yeah.
And we're coming after you. We know you. Jeremy Farkas stood up and got an award shoved up his ass on Monday. I wanted 2 minutes of his time, a disabled individual on AISH, and he just turned around and walked away and said, I'm sorry, I don't have time for you, after just receiving the award. He spent no time with anybody. As a matter of fact, the guy interviewing for the TV station for Global said afterwards, dude, if I would have known he would have been that much of a shithead, I would have said, just ask your question during my interview. Even he was willing to give it up.
Mm-hmm.
They do not care, ladies and gentlemen. Your government does not care about you. They are not that into you, just like your ex-girlfriend wasn't. Get it through your head and let's start the fight. Thanks, Chantal.
Yeah, no worries. So regarding that $200 monthly transition top-up, I think that just means that our amounts aren't going to change at this moment. They're not giving us any extra money.
No.
So that defense is true on its face for 18 months. The transition top-up expires December 31st, 2027. Recipients are then permanently $200 per month below current AISH rates. And we covered that on Tuesday about the whole income analysis, right? So the government's no-cut public defense is structurally a delay defense. It does not survive the program's own end of transition date. The documented record now includes both the government's defense and the date on which that defense ceases to apply. So they've already told us when they're going to pull the rug out from under us and to be ready for it.
Right.
So the Alberta Social Compact, the one Premier Peter Lougheed built, and that successive governments of every political stripe preserved, established that a province with the wealth and the will of this one would take care of its most vulnerable citizens. And we'll get into that. That compact was not partisan. It was provincial. What is being implemented in Regulation AR 96, in Bill 12, and in the placement letters now arriving in mailboxes across Alberta represents a deliberate departure from that compact. The Albertans bearing the cost of that departure are the ones least equipped to absorb it. So Inclusion Alberta's analysis published this month documents that the program planning and delivery budget for AISH and ADAP rises by 107%, an increase of $45.7 million this fiscal year to build the parallel administrative bureaucracy required to deliver ADAP. And we keep covering that, Gavin.
Yeah, how many times have I said that? I mean, $46 million more is going to be spent annually on a program that's supposed to save you money. Like, stop
on
right
a program
there.
that isn't necessary.
And a program that is completely unnecessary, because if somebody wants to work on AISH, they already fucking can, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, if they needed any extra assistance, you just add that to AISH. You're not spending $46 million a year on that. So the whole thing, people don't even stop. People want to believe their own bullshit and their own rhetoric, and they don't want to listen when you just say, you're spending more money. And the government is
and that's more
withholding.
taxpayer dollars too. That has nothing to do with the Heritage Fund or the federal government. That's money coming from our taxpayers going to a program that is completely unnecessary.
Well, for two reasons, right? Number one, because they'll take it from the taxpayer, but you don't understand that all that money that they're taking from you, the taxpayer, could be taken out of the Heritage Fund. But you don't know about the Heritage Fund because they don't want you to know about the Heritage Fund. And yet that Heritage Fund is there for this explicit reason, so that you don't have to. Ladies and gentlemen, they got you over a barrel. They're laughing at you right now. It's time to rise up, ladies and gentlemen. Time to rise up. Can I just check the chat just real quick?
Yeah.
To see if there's anything cogent being said. They will take your money, then deduct $178 per month for the remainder. Yep, sure. If I owed $20,000, Alberta would say a senior owes. I don't know the answer to that question. I still owe 10 GS. Legacy fund also isn't discussed in Calgary. Well, that's what we're talking about, Z, is we're talking about the Heritage Fund. And I think by legacy fund, that's what you mean, if I'm not mistaken. So we're talking about that. Of course, they don't discuss it because they're stealing it. I mean, if I'm going to rip you off, I'm not going to tell you about it. That'd be kind of silly, wouldn't it? And even as stupid as government is, as the apparatus is, and the people become underneath it, they're smart enough to know that. This is where we have to activate, and we don't have to activate on conspiracy theory, and we don't have to just activate on our own story. We activate on the story of 80,000 others by fact, by analysis, and by utilizing our own power in public to get the job done. Chantal, I really want to get this thing done today because I'd like to roll a little bit on Lougheed.
Yeah.
I'm just going to mute myself. Tell me if you can hear it though, but I'd like to just get that done. Can you talk and I'll work on that?
Yeah,
Is that okay?
absolutely. Because
Okay.
I can keep on going through the email that I sent out because it was a long one.
Jesus, was it ever?
So
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you in the chat for entertaining me, for humoring me at this moment. I'm going to go do that. Okay. Thanks, Chantal.
yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Then the net effect of that $45.7 million in additional administration is a $200 per month benefit cut against AISH after December 2027, and the structural household losses documented above. Costlier administration, smaller benefit, and the contradiction is on the public record. The campaign is receiving an escalating volume of disclosures from community members in acute mental health crisis, including disclosures of active suicidality. This is not abstract risk in policy literature. This is what is being said in real time by people who have just received their letters or are waiting for them. The mental health cost, No. I can now, yeah.
Vis-a-vis the University of Alberta? Well, I think the most important one was that we funds to the university for special programs, and so we had
No worries. No, I had my YouTube muted just so that I could hear without an echo. This one. All right, so where is it here? So to continue here, the mental health cost of this transition is being absorbed by Albertans with disabilities in the intercession window between today and July 1st. While the legislature is not sitting and standard accountability mechanisms are not available to them, because we already know that the legislature is in recess for right now, of course, and it's got to be during the most important time for all of us. So the spring sitting of the 31st legislature adjourned on May 14th. The assembly does not return before ADAP launches. Bill 12 passed December 9th, 2025, eliminated the Citizens Appeal Panel, the mechanism that previously overturned 37% of disability income decisions reviewed across 3,218 hearings over four fiscal years. The medical review panel that replaced it makes final decisions on eligibility, and those decisions are not subject to independent administrative appeal. Recipients placed under undisclosed criteria into a program built on undisclosed rates now have no functional administrative appeal mechanism for individual decisions. So we've been covering that too. So on May 21st, 2026, Premier Smith moved Minister Jason Nixon, who designed and announced ADAP, to finance, and appointed Minister Nathan Newdorf to assisted living and social services. The minister responsible for the policy is now the minister responsible at launch, or is not the minister responsible at launch. The window in which elected representatives at any level of government can act before this regime becomes operational law is the window between today and June 30th, 2026. The Alberta Disability System Breakdown asks the members of the municipal coalition that has led on this file: Calgary, Edmonton, Lethbridge, Camrose, Red Deer, Medicine Hat, St. Albert, and the town of Cochrane, to escalate in this intercession window beyond the motion that has been passed. Specifically, and let's list them out: a coordinated joint statement or press conference from coalition municipalities directed to Minister Newdorf requesting publication of the AISH versus ADAP placement criteria and the ministerial order operational clawback rates prior to further letters being issued or the July 1st launch. Number 2, direct council level correspondence to Minister Newdorf and to Premier Smith calling for an emergency pause pending publication of those criteria and rates. Number 3, formal requests for constituency level data. How many constituents in your municipality have received placement letters broken down by stream, and how many fall into the 4 exemption categories the government has named? So PDD, 60 plus, continuing care, and palliative. Active engagement with provincial MLAs and federal MPs in your municipality during the constituency period recess. And then finally, updated council motions specifically demanding A, pre-July 1st publication of placement criteria, B, pre-July 1st publication of the ministerial order clawback schedule, C, constituent data disclosure, and D, representation of the 200 or preservation of the $200 transition top up beyond December 31st, 2027 at minimum until the criteria gap is closed. The Alberta Disability System Breakdown holds itself to a strict documented record standard. The attached duology and the income crossover analysis are sourced to government open data, federal benefit schedules, primary statutory text, and the Government of Alberta's own placement letter text issued under the date of May 12, 2026. The documented record between today and June 30th will reflect what each of you did and what each of you did not do in the 36 days remaining before this regime takes operational effect over the lives of approximately 80,000 Albertans. Raise your voices. The Albertans relying on you to do so are running out of time, options, and in some documented cases, capacity to wait any longer.
And patience.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I pause you just for a sec?
Yeah, it's all done. That's
okay.
it. That's my email.
Okay. Okay, so I just want SMB, thank you. I won't be able to do it, Chantal. They can hear it in the chat, so I will try and have that for tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to address Z here. So I'm giving straight what happened when they tested the system, and you say, no, I'm not saying you're a conspiracy theorist. What I'm saying is generally we don't have to go to conspiracy. Not you, anyone doesn't have to go to conspiracy because you have the facts and we have the facts. That's all I'm saying. I'm not indicting you about anything, okay? So just so you got that straight, okay? Because we want to be straight. You guys still don't understand what they sold you in. That is not what is going to happen. You know that.
Well, we know what the government's been like saying isn't matching up with what's actually being found across the board. We know that already. We're not buying what they're selling. We're questioning everything. That's why we document. That's why I'm putting out so many different forms lately and more research and everything else, so that everybody knows that what the government's been spewing has been absolute garbage.
Yes, and right. So we're actually not arguing against you, Z. We're arguing with you. Okay, just so you know, I mean, if you have information we don't have, that's great. We're working off the information we have, and we're not going beyond the information we have, although to assess perhaps, certain motivations, asking questions why they would do this, that sort of thing. But we are not Socratically saying that we know all truth, okay? That's not, we would be disingenuous if we said that. We're trying to figure this out. And if you got it all figured out, great. But, we're trying to figure it out. And, anything you have to say is great. We just, I mean, with all the work that Chantal's done, my God, there's nobody that I think of, except maybe you, Z, that has done this kind of work. So that's why she's my co-host, and I love her, because she's amazing. And so we welcome, all of your thoughts, all your opinions. You're not a conspiracy theorist. You're telling your own story. And I get it. And Chantal gets it. And I think the entire chat gets it. What we're trying to do is speak on behalf of what we know, what we can quantify, what we can actually pull from a page and point to. Because that's very important when you go in front of people. Your own personal testimony is, of course,
it strengthens the argument, but all of my documents that I put out there, it's all factual, it's all pulled from sources, and it has to be public sourced information. So there's no conjecture, there's no, oh, well, maybe this is what's happening. I have these solid numbers. I do that research. And if I can't fact check something, right, then I don't put it in my documents.
Exactly, because that works on a what's the word? It's cathartic, to stretch to the ends of the earth your thoughts and project. That's great. But when you're standing in front of people that are making these kind of fucking decisions, you have to qualify and quantify every metric you use, and so you don't want to get caught. That's not so correct.
Yeah, because one wrong number, sent to an MP or an MLA, they'll throw the whole document out.
And they've done it many, many, many times. Even in conversation, they'll dismiss you quickly. That's why at the top of this program today, I was talking about how to disarm anyone who I encounter that is disingenuous, wants to be a dick. How do I break through that? What are my initial responses, whether they're comical or otherwise? And how do I either, enter that conversation or have them enter the conversation? Or if I know it's not going to work, what is the worst thing I can say to them that meaning that when they go to bed that night, I'm going to be stuck in their fucking head. They're not going to get me out of their head. So that's really important to me. And that's the strength that I possess and my part in the podcast and everything else. I come from things from a philosophical point of view. Chantal, thankfully, thank God, comes from a very statistical, pragmatic point of view. And I think both things are necessary, and both things lead to the same outcome. So, bogus odd number, Chantal. Okay. Then I do believe
I sent him the campaign email address in case there's something that he wants to share.
Yeah,
because I helped somebody in the group there. You remember Adam and Yasmin?
Yeah.
Adam ended up messaging me. I think it was this morning, or was it last night? I can't remember. He needed he needed something looked at. He wanted to pick my brain, so I was like, absolutely. So I looked at what he had written, and I asked him, okay, well, this is awesome, but you should kind of expand on it, right? Because I always want people to strengthen their own voices, strengthen their own ideas, right?
Yeah.
But I want them to be factual because I don't want people dismissed. That's my thing, right? I don't want you dismissed. I want people to have to listen because you know what you're talking about, right? Even if the passion is there, and even if you want to yell and scream at the top of your lungs, there's room for that.
Mm-hmm.
But in order to get your foot in the door to be heard, you have to come at it from almost like an academic standpoint.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
So he has his own thing that he wants me to post to the group. I haven't yet because I wasn't at my computer, but I plan on sharing that with everybody as well.
Yeah, if you come at them screaming into the void, good luck. I mean, they can dismiss you so quickly, and they're good at it. We might not understand how much of an art it is that these people employ. It's artful. And if you're not ready for it, once again, like a general does not go to war without counting the cost. So what you want to do when you approach assholes in government, of which there are many, if not all, is you want to have assessed every possible way that they will either defeat you, whether that's immediate dismissal, down to your numbers and your facts, down to if I scream into the void, where does that go? So that's what a general does, right? He starts the war, and then he plans every mode of attack. This is when we're going to go around. This is when we're marching straight ahead, right? This is the decoy. And you really have to be that artful because they're artful. And so you have to answer everything of how they're going to come back at you. It's not just about you saying what you want. It's about predetermining every moment that they may come back at you. And it is a beautiful, artistic, symphonic moment when you have your shit together so much that you could just blast out this revelatory thing that stops people in their tracks and goes, holy fuck, now where do I go? Right? Yeah. And then they're going to try to escape, right? That would be their reaction. I'm going to escape. Mm-hmm. But then, okay, you know they're going to escape. How do I make it so that they don't escape? Is it a moment for humor? Is it a moment for levity? Right? Just to keep them tied, not to be their fucking friend, that's for sure, but to keep them tied into the moment, right? That is art. And with the brain and the knowledge I know Adam has, that's not a fucking stretch. That's an absolute in a guy's like that case. And Yasmin as well. These are really fucking intuitive, amazing people. And I hope you know that, both of you. Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead, Chantal. I just had to get
that. Where is it here? So the document that I helped Adam with is called Not Readiness, a program without instructions. Because there aren't any instructions. They haven't publicly posted enough for people to be able to understand what the hell's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's this Marie chick at?
Oh, I don't know. Probably doing another photo op.
Yeah. Yeah, very excited.
That seems to be her go-to. You know, as long as she's got her face next to, you know, somebody that is disabled, everybody seems to think that she's doing what she needs to be doing to support the cause. And I'm sorry, these people can be a fuck of a lot louder, Gavin, fighting for us. Like, I understand that there are limits and things that they're not supposed to do because of the parties that they're in and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But you know what? There's a time in every career where it's like, you know what? If I keep on doing nothing, why am I doing the job?
Well, because you have to cut a check because you're either a single mother or your kids need whatever, or you need 2 weeks in the Bahamas, or it's all self-interest.
Yeah.
It's all self-interest. There's no risk. We've already risked our lives. We know what it means to risk everything. Right?
Yeah.
That's what makes us really better people. And I say that better people in the sense of more educated toward the human species, right?
Yeah.
We don't have what Socrates called ambition. Ambition, we've been led to believe, is a good thing. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't strive, doesn't mean you shouldn't be masterful at what you do. But ambition comes with caveats, and it comes with things that you will give up. I want to get you go ahead and talk for a second. I want to get this one statement.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can just start the tribute to Peter Lougheed if you'd like.
Sure. Yeah.
So this is part of the From Greatness to Betrayal. It's a 105-page historical piece that I've put together. So we'll start with the tribute to Peter Lougheed. So about this document, this is not a party endorsement. This is a public record of what each government inherited, what each government changed, and what Albertans lost and gained as a result. Across 47 years, this document names actions taken by progressive conservatives, New Democrat, and United Conservative governments. The standard is the same for each. What the documented record establishes era by era and decision by decision. So we start with the tribute to Peter Lougheed. He died on September 13th, 2012 in the Calvary Hospital that now bears his name. He was 84 years old. He had been Premier of Alberta from September 10th, 1971 to November 1st, 1985, 14 years. He left office decades before this document needed to be written. He did not live to see Bill 26, he did not live to see Bill 12, and he did not live to see the Alberta Disability Assistance Program. He did not live to see the 88% cohabitation rule or the Canada Disability Benefit Clawback or the May 12, 2026 fact sheet that established the framework this campaign has spent the past 4 months documenting. But he did live to see the start of it. And he said publicly and on the record that the people who came after him were dismantling what he had built. He spent the last decade of his life telling Albertans in interview after speech, after policy paper, that the foundation was being drawn down rather than added to. And he was correct. The trajectory only continued after he could no longer speak to it. The document begins with him not because the Lougheed era was perfect, no era is, but because it is the only era in the period this piece covers when the disability community in Alberta was the subject of positive structural construction rather than negotiated subtraction. Every era after his has, on the documented record, taken more from the disability community than it has given. He is the baseline. He is what greatness referenced in the title of this document means. So what he built. Within 14 years, the Lougheed PC government built or established the following, many of them are still in operation today, several of which directly underpin the disability community's ability to exist in the province at all. So the Alberta Heritage Savings Trust Fund, 1976, established to capture non-renewable resource revenue and reinvest it for long-term benefit, for the long-term benefit of Albertans. Originally received 30% of resource royalties. So that's regarding oil and gas. And that was the Heritage Fund. So he's the one that put that in place. So the Assured Income for the Severely Handicapped AISH, January 1979, the first program in Canada designed specifically to provide assured income to people with permanent severe disabilities, built outside the welfare system. No asset limits at founding, that's a big one. Pegged to senior pension rates, built so that disabled Albertans could live with dignity and independence. Lougheed's actual framing all the time. Repeal of the Sexual Sterilization Act 1972, the 1928 Act which authorized forced sterilization of Albertans deemed mentally defective, was eliminated by the newly elected Lougheed government in one of its first major social policy actions. Approximately 2,832 documented sterilizations had occurred under the act between 1928 and 1972.
Now think about it, right? Back at the turn of the century, they would have considered it science for handicapped people to not procreate.
Yeah.
They would have considered that science, ladies and gentlemen. Lougheed comes along, and I'm not going to praise him too hard. He's a politician. God bless him. He did some good things, though, and that's what we're covering today. But he comes along and he says, no, wait a minute, that's not science. That's bullshit. The human species should be allowed to procreate. And, and there is no real science behind that. Perhaps there is some a higher percentage maybe of missing a chromosome or whatever it is. But it certainly doesn't take away the human right of someone being able to have a child. And so now you look at the government, what the government is doing now, and they're trying to tell us it's science. As a matter of fact, ADAP was thoughtfully designed. Okay, this is what I'm doing right here. Okay, this is a letter I got today. All right, I'm just reading from the letter. Do you mind if I break just to do this?
Go ahead. Yeah.
ADAP was thoughtfully designed. Really? Thoughtfully designed? You mean for our benefit? I don't think so. It's not. It's of no benefit to anyone out there. Zero benefit to anybody. You already have what you have on AISH. On the input of Albertans with disabilities. Thoughtfully designed on the input of Albertans with disabilities. Who? Who was that? I've never
They
heard
never
anybody.
posted that.
Well, right. I mean, that's a lie. And if it's not a lie, they took some people that were probably really checked out. You know what I mean? Like they couldn't add numbers greatly or comprehend all that well. And said, look at the nice little shiny thing we're going to give you. And they went, right? That's the best they did. And I'm not making fun of these people. Don't get me wrong. What I'm doing is showing you that they didn't consult you. They didn't consult me. They didn't consult Chantal. They just fucking went ahead and did it and used a few people as pawns in the game to be able to say that they did something. They did nothing. They did nothing. Like the government.
Yeah, we kind of established that when we did the forensic breakdown of the what was it, the engagement page.
Right. Yes, you did. You did that. I'm just reading from this like a bitch. For more than a year, the Minister of Assisted Living and Social Services, Jason Nixon, who I call Lurch, and he is featured predominantly in my newest music video, just so you know, engaged with medical professionals, subject matter experts, service providers, Albertans with disabilities, their families, and disability advocates and organizations across the province. Really? Where the fuck was Acorn? I don't think Acorn ever got a call from Edmonton.
Well, that and a lot of community service centers didn't get calls because they had no idea what what ADAP was.
Jesus, I knew what it was before they did.
Uh-huh.
So they didn't get called. When it says here, one of the most important things, medical professionals, most psychiatrists in Alberta, all
Are against it.
all of the ones that I've ever heard of, never fucking heard of it. And number two, would never sign off on a program like this because they know the damage. So who'd they talk to? Some fucking political pundit with, with like a 2-year degree in fucking psychology that already has a job that's going to be on the line if he tells the truth? Who the fuck did they talk to? They talked to no one. Subject matter experts? Subject matter? What the fuck is that term? Subject matter experts. What does that even?
That almost sounds like those, the subject matter may be disturbing for some viewers. That's all that fucking comes to mind for me. Is
No.
it's a disclaimer before you watch something disturbing.
No, if I need to, if I walk into a studio and I need some information, I'm not going to talk to an engineering subject matter expert. I'm going to talk to a fucking engineer.
No.
Not somebody that thinks he knows something on the subject. If somebody wants a drummer, they're not going to talk to the subject matter drummer. They're going to talk to the fucking drummer. That once again, this is what do they call it? Double speak, ladies and gentlemen. This is what governments have done since the 60s and probably since fucking Caesar. Service providers. Well, I don't know of any. I'm sorry. I hold a podcast.
Yeah.
I have,
I think service providers, that would be like community enrichment groups. That would be like your community liaison there that you talk to. Who else would be under that category?
It might be those.
I don't think.
It might be those shitheads giving them an award on Monday because they could use the money.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Anything to get a bigger budget to line your own pockets. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Like when we looked at the forensics of the engagement website, it has never, okay, in all of my research for this government in particular, it takes more than a week to be able to go through information that you've collected regarding anything.
Right.
Like they have 30 days to get back to a fucking email. And they expect us to believe that it took them a week to go through all of that, reinforcement or information that they collected regarding the ADAP
Mm-hmm.
thing. Like, since when? Yeah, y'all must have really shit the bed on that one, because a week, that's like, wow, amazing turnover.
Yeah.
So that's not actual engagement. They're just, pissing on us and calling it rain, like you like to say, Gavin.
Yeah, that's that I come by that from another it's somebody else's, but I use it. You know, I mean, what you're saying, Chantal, with our level of passion and knowledge and wisdom and understanding, and I'm not talking about mine, I'm talking about ERC here, I'm talking about Z. There is no fucking wonder why they don't want to hear from this. From us. There's no wonder why they want to run when confronted, when I confront them directly. When I confronted Jason Nixon, when I confronted Jeremy Farkas, they ran, and they ran hard. Why? Because they're fucking cowards, number one. There is a saying, and I'll tell you what that saying is. It is difficult to get it is difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends on his not understanding it. That's from Upton Sinclair.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right. Don't you like that?
That's a really good one.
Right. It is difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends on him not understanding it. So they understand it, but to put that understanding into wisdom or pragmatic action would mean their livelihood.
That's like Newdorf, like right there. That's exactly his positioning. He will be the puppet, and he will spew whatever kind of garbage the government or the UCP party wants him to, because he's completely decided to be ignorant to all of the actual information.
That's right. Not because his integrity demands he do the right thing, but his paycheck demands that he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we are, ladies and gentlemen, with money in politics. And this is the one thing that has to go from the political system. Nobody should be paid any form of grandiose money for doing the job of the people. As a matter of fact, every person in society should enter politics for a very short term to do what is necessary to their community, to their district, right, to the province, whatever it is, and then very quickly fuck off. Why? Because the longer you are there, the more damage you can do, the more co-opted you can become, and the more you can twist that system. That's why there is no such thing, or there shouldn't be, as a career politician. No one should make a career out of politics. It shouldn't be allowed. It should be a constitutional mandate that no one have any more than, say, 2 to 4 years. Now, what does that do? That engages the public. That puts the responsibility on us to enter the political system, to do right by our fellow man or woman, and then get the hell out.
Yeah.
Never having corrupted a thing, getting the bare minimum amount that someone should get so that they can do the job and they can have enough protein and carbohydrates in their diet, but nothing extra. No boat, no flight from here, like Daniel Smith, from Alberta to fucking the Arab Emirates or wherever the fuck she went, Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
No private flights, no nothing. You get in, you do the work of the people, and you fuck off. And I'd like to know what people think about that.
Yeah, no, I agree totally.
Yeah.
Because I was looking more into what it would take for me to run to get into government, but I'm not prepared to sell out my morals to follow a party that I don't agree with.
No, I talked to a guy yesterday that says, if you don't vote, you don't have a voice. My neighbor said that. And I didn't argue with him because I like him and he's my neighbor. And if we ever get there someday, which we won't because I'm moving, it just doesn't matter. Trust me, I've argued with people, or not argued, but I've given them the facts on this. And my comeback to that ignorant statement is then give me something to fucking vote for.
Yeah, exactly.
I am not allowed to vote because I vote. I'm allowed to vote because I'm a Canadian, and my voice, whether I vote or not, is warranted because I have a fucking birth certificate.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I voted, because I have a birth certificate that gives me the right to speak out whether I vote or not. So don't let people be ignorant to you either, ladies and gentlemen.
No. Well, it's really hard to pick, who you want on the ballot when it's, you got to pick between the lesser of two evils.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one party actually aligns with any one person. You're just picking because their platform seems the most genuine. But in actuality, in the history of what we've seen so far in every political party, they mask what it is that their true incentive is. They never actually do what they say that they're going to do.
No. And then when they think they can manipulate a bunch of minds that that they think are inferior to their own dipshit, regalements that happen up here in the theater of their mind, this is where they have to be proven wrong. And I had somebody to say today that what'd they say? They used a word. There's nothing left. There's no hope. There's whatever one word they used to describe that.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, no, this is round one. This is round one. You get someone into the political system that isn't going to cave, that is there independently, and will risk, even for 6 months, going in there and telling the government how big of shitheads they are, number one, how they don't understand a thing, number two, how they could never Socratically debate, number three, with all the information, with all the statistics, with everything at your disposal right there. If you last 6 months, good for you. That will have been a change.
Yep.
Right? Would you agree, Chantal?
Yeah, I'm just coming back in from my smoke.
Yeah. Even if you got in there for 6 months and you got your ass kicked out, at least in that 6 months, you could carry your camera everywhere and disseminate to the people, to the middle class, to the handicapped class, exactly what is going on within the walls of government.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that's one of the reasons why they wouldn't let me in, because I would turn everything transparent, and they can't afford that.
Well, absolutely. But that's where we fight, and that's where the fight is headed.
Yep.
You don't have to give up hope right now, man.
No, the fight isn't over.
No, I mean, maybe we're this is David and Goliath, man. This is David and Goliath. We haven't even picked up the stones yet, all right? The metaphorical stones, all right? Just in case somebody from government goes, he said stones. Fuck off. You know what I mean. We are at the point where change is coming, ladies and gentlemen. Am I going to see it? I don't know. I don't know if I'll see it. I don't know if I'll partake in what I believe is going to be the next chapter in civilization. But I don't have to be. I just know that I love me first, and I love other people, therefore, second. Because I can love them, because I know what it means to love me.
Mm-hmm.
So there we are. I guess back to Mr. Lougheed.
Yeah. So Services for the Handicapped Program, 1972, first standalone division of the Department of Social Services dedicated to disability supports. William Watson Lodge, a publicly owned wilderness lodge in Kananaskis County, built specifically so that people with disabilities could access the Rocky Mountains alongside every other Albertan. It still operates today. Nothing comparable has been built since. The Royal Tyrrell Museum of Paleontology, civic culture.
Paleontology, yeah. Paleontology.
Civic cultural infrastructure on a generational scale. The Alexander Ruther forward scholarships, province-wide post-secondary support for graduating Alberta students, Fish Creek Provincial Park in Calgary, and Capital City Recreational Park in Edmonton, 2 large urban provincial parks built inside the province's largest cities. Alberta Bill of Rights, early Lougheed legislation, province-wide rights framework. So we're already working from that too. Patriation of the Canadian Constitution in 1982. Lougheed was a central negotiator in the constitutional accord that produced the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. So this is what one Alberta government built in 14 years. The relevant question this document will return to repeatedly is what every government since has built by comparison, and what each has drawn down from the foundation Lougheed laid.
And now it's all being dismantled.
Yep.
Right.
Systematically dismantled.
Right. So here we erected, let's say, some kind of, talisman or something, in the form of a man that tried to do some good. Of course, he's a politician, and, I probably wouldn't trust him with my kids. But he did do some good. And now, it's almost like, you remember the Iraq War when the Americans came in and they tore down that statue of Saddam Hussein? Remember that day? And they put the flag over his head. Now, maybe in that case, it was warranted. I don't know. The Iraq War wasn't warranted, so I don't know how that could be. But this is the visual, if you want, of what is happening now. It's almost like we erected a statue to say thank you to an individual that did some good. And now the government is dismantling, with its foot soldiers, are dismantling that avatar, that whatever you want to call it. And what are they going to erect in its place? Right? Except like, if Iwo Jima wouldn't have won, just a bunch of dead bodies. That's the only sculpture that fits at the moment. And this is why we're fighting, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we're not giving up. I'll head to the comments just for a second. I know they're lively today. They're extremely lively. Well, Z's all over the place. So let's see. ERC says, I'm listening, but also informing some friends of the reality of things. Of course you are, brother. You are doing, you're going apeshit out there, and it's a beautiful thing to witness. It really is. University teaching hospitals all privatized. Sure. Yeah, it's an American model. Coming to a city, an Alberta city
Near you.
Grassroots mayoral campaign in 2010 out of 28 people. That was as a nobody. 10 out of 28 people. Mayoral campaign in 21. Was that Uzi? Who the hell? Who are you talking about? I'm curious. I ran free food. I'm going to say pantry of Falcon Ridge. Guru Nanak got resources for me. Good job. Good job. What can I say? You're doing the work, man. Non-valid vote. I bet if every AISH recipient voted me, I would win. Well, there's a statement. I guess you'd have to let this people speak, right? You're allowed to write in a name. It's called non-ballot. WR, the sick. We, the sick, should manipulate their system. Lawrence Decor and Gold Award, same year, 2012. Are you speaking of yourself? Also, David Goliath. I don't know what you mean. Me, you, to what? They spoke trust fund university grassroots mayoral campaign. Is that you were talking about? Yeah. So you ran, and 10 out of 28 people supported you. I'm curious. Hey, Pam's in here, and she's saying, sorry, I was busy. Parables, I speak in tongues. Well, don't. Okay. I play drums for Jimmy fucking Swaggart, okay? if you know, if we're talking about parables now, I played drums for Jimmy Swaggart. I taught his drummer for 3 fucking years, and I can't interpret tongues, okay? And neither can anybody in the chat. So in this case, and not only that, you know, Christ said, "Go into your closet and do it there," so that no one hears you. But he also said that you could do it outward. But I have to tell you, there's no one here that can interpret speaking tongues. All right, there is not an interpreter here. Fuck, that's funny. I mean, a funny story. I was in church one night years ago. All right, Pentecostal church. All right, here in Calgary. From Calgary Christian Center, and we, you know, a lot of people, right? 1,000 people in this church, and this guy gets up when the pastor is kind of, you know, just finished praying or whatever. Guy gets up and he just starts speaking in tongues, like in front of 1,000 people. Just stands up, starts speaking in tongues. Right now, the thing about speaking in tongues is that you need to have an interpreter. It's all bullshit, okay, Chantal, but stick with me.
Yeah.
You need to have an interpreter, all right? So someone needs to be able to interpret your tongues, not you, right? Because it comes from you, but you can manipulate it. You know what I mean? If that's why someone else would be the interpreter. Now, of course, it's all bullshit anyway. But this guy gets up and speaks for like 3 minutes in tongues, everything. You know, should have bought a Honda, but I bought a Ford, but I bought a Ford. All right, there's your speaking in tongues. I hope you understood what I said there. Yeah, and so after he's done, he sits down. Fucking nothing, just crickets. Nobody knows what to say or what to do. So the guy gets back up and he starts interpreting his own tongues. Now that's just incorrect biblically, right? So they let him go on. I don't know why the fuck they did. They let him go on. And then the pastor gets up after the guy is done and he addresses the people in the crowd. And he says, yeah, whatever that guy just said, don't listen to any of it. And that's the only thing he had to say, right? The whole thing, you know, is a fucking mess. And like I said, I work for Jimmy Swaggart. Yeah, Pastor Art can speak it. Yeah, Pastor Art speaks a lot of shit. Okay, Z, so you're saying I came 10th out of 28 people. Well, you know, that's okay. That's, yeah, great. You're doing the work, man. What can I say? You're doing the work. It's technically Old English, brother. Well, I would agree with you because the word prophecy is actually, the etymology of the word prophecy was poetry. It was not, prophecy was never something that you didn't see and you spoke about. That was not the definition of prophecy. Prophecy meant poetry. And that's why if you read the Old Testament, every time they're speaking prophecy, it's in the form of poetry because it didn't mean looking ahead. Well, you could look ahead in poetry, but you wouldn't look ahead, meaning that you could predict a thing, right? Sorry, I'm getting off topic here, but that's what, that's where the chat's gone. We have devolved now. So anyway, yeah, so we have people out there, obviously Z, wanting to take up some sort of cause. Fantastic. We've spoken about Peter Lougheed and the man and the destruction, the destructive practices that are happening around everything that he did well. You know, it seems to me like he was a guy that kind of gave a shit, you know. I watched some of the interviews today with him, trying to get this piece done, and you know, he seemed genuine to me. Seemed, you know, he wanted to help a lot of things. What do you think?
No, I think he was definitely ahead of his time, and he called a lot about what was coming down the picket after he finally left office, and we're seeing that now.
I wonder if he would have prophesied this.
Oh, he did. He said he knew that it was coming,
Did he really?
that things were going to be dismantled. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, because he
So,
saw what was going to happen before it even really began.
so he would have understood the political system even while people were clapping like seals at what he had done. He already knew what the outcome was going to be.
Yeah, but he tried. He put it in place for us, and it lasted up until now. Well, they keep on slowly dismantling what he built. So
So we got to try again.
yeah, we need a new Lougheed.
You know, we need the masses.
Yeah.
So who out there is willing to try? Who out there is willing to try like a guy like Peter Lougheed did, for all his foibles, you know, for the nefarious parts of his human nature, in which we all possess. He tried something, and he did do something. He put together the first, as far as I know, the first oil and gas fund for any either state or nation. Norway came along after and did a far superior job. Because by the time they came along, I bet you they studied Alberta and they watched it fall apart.
Yep.
So who's going to try?
Yeah, if there's anything that Alberta has shown the world at large is what not to do.
Like
You know, like an abusive parent, they tell you exactly what not to do with your life, right?
like your mom and my dad.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I landed on that years ago. That if I was making my dad upset, I was probably doing something right.
Yep.
So who's going to do something right out there? Are we going to do something right? I believe we can do something right. I think I'm preaching to the converted here. And even though we got a little religious today, you can, I hope you understand that I'm not, that I've had my own epiphanies in life, my own retro epiphany from religion back to common sense. And I couldn't be more thankful and happier and not judgmental and more loving as a human being because I reevaluated myself and I reevaluated what I believed. So, you know, who is going to give it that,
An old college try,
right?
as they say. I don't know.
Uh,
I think if I think if everybody was to boil it down and actually start looking for people that were speaking in the right direction and were trying to hold government accountable and trying to uncover everything that needed to be uncovered, I think we would have one hell of a party.
Boy, you know, here's an issue, right? I don't mean this to depress anybody. I don't mean to, you know, for anybody to lose their agency over what I'm about to say, but you know, it's kind of like when I was in religion too, right? Like God always had a great idea, and it only took people to fuck it up.
Yep.
You know, I feel the same way at the moment, and I think that's why I'm so cautious. You know, you and I are being cautious these days too, right? And
Yep.
I'm cautious because we have the tendency to fuck it up every time. And we do that by self-interest always. And it's nothing else than that. We have a way about us that messes up every great thing. Even with this individual today, when they heard the news of, you know, getting this and you know, other things, you know, well, it's over. It's hopeless. Hopeless was the word. It's hopeless. And I thought, well, there's the part of the human species that fucks shit up, you know? It's hopeless now. We might as well capitulate and, you know, I'm going to eat some worms, right? And that is not what we're called to. We're called to agency. We're called to love each other as a species. We're called to do for our neighbor. It is so hard to do in such a self-interested world. And therefore, what you need first and foremost is accountability. Like, you need people. I know in my life, I need people in my life that say, Gavin, you're fucking up. I need it.
Mhm.
And I revel in it, because I know that left to my own devices, I would believe whatever I think is, the most important sacred belief I have. I would act in ways that are not benevolent. And it is the only way for us to stay grounded in our humanity. The only way we can stay grounded in our humanity is to have other people ground us there. That's what community, that's what tribes were all about. Because the survival of the people hinged on humility. And we've lost that. And thus, and therefore, we've lost what we're losing now. This is the reality of how we got here. And I want to do what I can, whether it's a podcast or standing out front of City Hall
Mhm.
2 days a week. I feel that that's my contribution. If it's any further than that, well, shit, if it's any more than that, I better have Chantal on my ass every day saying, if you fuck up Sorochan, there's a baseball bat with your name on it, and it ain't Nerfed. It ain't made of foam. All right. So that is what we need. If we're going to get into this, we need that kind of accountability. And I need people around me like Pam. And if Pam ran, she'd need me. Hi, Kitty. If Z's going to run, Z's going to need people around him to say, don't fuck up today.
Yeah.
Don't fuck up today. And Adam, if Adam's going to run, same thing. Adam, don't fuck up. We need to be reminded of that, or we will fuck up and we will capitulate, and we'll become the people we hate, or the thing we hate. Let's say it that way.
Yeah.
We'll become the thing we hate. It's very easy. It's far too easy to allow that to happen. That's all I got to say about that.
I don't know. I think we would piss off a lot of these politicians now who spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on their campaigns if, the disability community got together and said, okay, we've got somebody in every nook and cranny across Alberta that'll speak to our interests and our support systems and what we need as a community. Yeah, I think that would be hilarious, because we wouldn't have the money for that popularity contest. But if everybody came out and said, nah, you know what, I'm going to vote for the people that are for me, that'll make change. We wouldn't be spending the hundreds of thousands of dollars on that, and that would piss everybody off.
No, as a matter of fact, it should be established that you can only spend $10,000.
Yep.
Right? That you cannot spend any more of that money. You can't get corporate money. All you can get is donated money or your own money. And at that, all you can get is $5,000 to $10,000 of money that you put into your campaign. And God forgive you if you go outside of that. Tar and feathering will be the least of your worries.
Yep.
I totally agree, Chantal. And once again, if someone is going to pull that trigger, then we need accountability structures that are around us to spank the shit out of us when this happens. There are indigenous tribes that the richest tribal member of the group of the tribe, every year they did this ritual where he gave half of his money away to the tribe, And they ridiculed him all night as part of a ceremony. And the reason is because he knew, number one, ridicule is humility. It puts me back into alignment with the people. And by losing half of my wealth, I either build it back up or I become someone else, and someone else rises into my position. But the tribe had to sustain itself that way, or the tribe would be taken over, killed by fucking, tigers, lions, anacondas, whatever they were. And this is a healthy tribe. We don't need to be praised. And I'll tell you what, Jeremy Farkas did not need an award on Monday for writing a fucking letter. What he needed was maybe a pat on the head and good job, solve the problem, do more, and don't fuck up. That's all he needed. And yet
Where's my participation trophy for writing, 90?
Oh, Jesus, you want to talk about writing, and trophies. I mean, you'd be the Stanley Cup of
Like
fucking...
That's how ridiculous it is,
Exactly.
Like, why don't I get the participation trophy for doing what I'm doing then?
And
I'm doing a hell of a lot more than he is.
It's a temptation, man. Think about it though, Chantal, right? This is where I'm careful, right? Because think about it. If you had the power and the influence, right? If you were Jeremy Farkas or whatever in his position, and somebody said, we want to give you an award, what do you think you'd do?
For what?
Well,
that
sure.
would be my question. For what? My work's not done yet.
Right. That would probably be the correct answer. Don't you dare give me an award. I do not deserve it. As a matter of fact, where's the person in your group of individuals that did the most work? I signed a letter. I probably didn't even write it. I'm sure he didn't write it. I'm fucking 99% sure he never wrote a fucking thing.
Oh, no, that's why they have staff.
Right. And they used an
paid staff to do the work. Yeah.
And they used an auto pen. And then, you know what I mean? So who's the one in your group that did the work? You give that trophy to him, and you stop praising me for things I'm not worthy of. Man, if we had a leader like that, somebody that shut people down like that, and then rose them up at the same time, you know what I mean? Imploded them and then exploded them into the civic consciousness and into civic agency, that would be the best leadership you could ever have. And that's exciting to think about. Is it romantic? I don't know. Is it necessary? Absolutely. So somebody could say, oh, that's fucking silly. Well, it's necessary. It may be silly to you, but it's necessary to the human species. And yeah, I mean, I could go on and on, I can't, but Chantal is doing a bunch of unpaid labor for us. Thank you for acknowledging that, SMB. I call you SMB because that's what you have here. Thank you for acknowledging that, because that is so true. I mean, this woman does more on a daily basis than I get done in a week. I fall asleep editing or close to it. And then I go on to play Candy Crush. She is unrelenting. And yet...
Well, hemorrhoids usually are, right?
Say that again? What are?
Hemorrhoids usually are.
Well, that's it. And Chantal is proud of her, what would you call it? Her station as the hemorrhoid on the ass of the political system and the politicians in it. And, just before you think that's disgusting, frame it this way. The hemorrhoid is the thing that aggravates, right? You know what I mean? And so all you really have is assholes, and you need aggravation, or, aggravation is going to come. You know what I mean? If you think your asshole is great and all you do is sit around on your ass all day and do no work and then want to get praised for it, the hemorrhoid is going to come. I played drums for the majority of my life. I won't tell you about the state of my ass, but that's what I'm talking about. And Chantal is that hemorrhoid, and she wears that moniker proudly.
Very proudly.
Very
Very proudly.
as she does Chicken Plucker. And I said Plucker. As Chicken Plucker, there are naked chickens running around all Alberta right now, where right on their breast are the names Jason Nixon and
Daniel Smith. And Nathan Newdorf.
Nathan Newdorf. Yeah, I mean, she's plucking hard. And I just appreciate you acknowledging that. Thank you.
And it's not unpaid labor. I'm on AISH. The government is literally paying me to sit in my living room and do this for everybody.
And destroy them, yeah.
So it's not unpaid. I'm on a government assistance program.
Right.
They're paying me to critique them.
Right. 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 And I saw somebody today, put in one of your things, something about, well, if you can do all this work, you can. Did you see that one?
Yeah.
You can work, right? And I thought, this chick or whoever she was doesn't understand a thing about the human species. Because I can do this all day long. But if you put me into something that is dry and two-dimensional and milquetoast and is in no way me operating in my strengths, I will immediately become depressed. I will immediately shut down, and you won't get 5 seconds out of me. You won't get 5 minutes of work out of me. That's why I was a musician. That's why I toured the world, because I could do that work. But if you think that I could ditch dig, and this is not, I'm not saying anything against ditch diggers, God bless you. But I'm not that. I can't stand in a Walmart saying hi to people as a living. I can't go to work for the man, right? I can't sucker people into a place with my nice smile, toothless, that is, and tell them, welcome to Walmart today. How can we suck money out of you? I can't do that. That is not me. My strengths, I've traveled the world doing them. My strengths today, I believe, are here. If you put me into something that I cannot do, I will become shaky. I will become irritable, depressed. I will lose hope. And I only have 60 years to prove this to anybody who wants to try me. I have 60 years of evidence of a failed existence doing anything but playing music, traveling the world, and podcasting. All right? And things artistically related. God bless the ditch digger. But we also have a way in which we could all dig a ditch and have, 12 hours a day to spend of our own accord in our artistic pursuit. Whether that's sculpture making or woodworking or pottery or, whatever. Science, medicine, theater, music. The list goes on and on and on. There is a world that exists like that because that world existed. And Z says he hasn't heard the word etymology since grade 3. Well, that's either a good thing or a bad thing. I'm either using words of a 3-year-old or you just haven't heard it. What do you think, Chantal, about that? About all that?
I think everybody's entitled to their opinions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I guess that's my approach for everything. My kids taught me a lot about how to deal with people at large. Like each of my children is neurodivergent, and I shared a lot of my story on Facebook after I read that comment, because I thought, I can understand that, everybody sees the work that I'm, compiling, that I'm releasing, that I'm sharing with everybody, but they don't see the whole picture.
Right. Right.
So and I did. I ended up writing a little bit of something that I posted to the group, and I don't know if you want me to share that or not.
Absolutely. You know, just to say that what they see is the public facing individual, but that is a shallow representation of the whole of Chantal.
Yeah.
Right. I read what you did. If you want to read a little bit from that, why don't you go ahead, sister? Because, you know, it certainly gave me a better understanding of you. Yeah.
Well, I try not to hide too much. Like a lot of my stuff, you won't see pictures of my children. That's why I have the background blurred in my videos, because my kids will come down, right? It's protection for them, right? Because that's just important to me.
Of course.
So my post was, some of you might be wondering why I'm not working. So I'm going to tell you. I've been on AISH for 11 years. I worked as a secretary once, 7 years at the same insurance underwriting office, and I did every desk in that office. I took a lot of that knowledge with me. That job, the one I lived and breathed for 7 years, was the catalyst of my mental and physical health decline. My mother was my supervisor at work for almost a decade. I spent whole weeks at the office without going home, because if she had to be there, so did I. My mother's abuse started when I was 6 years old. She threw me down the stairs because I couldn't understand my homework. She gave me CPTSD. Now, a lot of people don't know what that is. It's multiple traumatic events, not just one or two. It's multiple.
Complex.
So it's
complex.
complex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it gave me CPTSD, depression, and social anxiety. Decades of hypervigilance from the abuse gave me constant nerve pain or fibromyalgia. Puberty gave me PCOS and chronic anemia and hypoinsulin production without being diabetic. Having my children crashed my immune system. It woke up my, oh my God, I hate this word, hypogabagobulimia. It's like this, but I hate the word. It's hereditary in my family. My grandmother has it. My body doesn't produce enough antibodies to fight even a cold, which makes me more prone to infections and cancers. That's how I lost my teeth. An infection I couldn't shake, years of antibiotics that didn't help. And my third C-section, having my daughter, caused the spinal degeneration.
Can I ask
I
you,
wasn't born, huh?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that had anything to do with your childhood, the deterioration of your immune system and things like that?
It could have. I know that like my grandmother was very prone to cancer. She has like half a lung left because of all of the lung cancer scares that she's had over her life. And that was because she has the same immunodeficiency as what I do.
Right. And I'm talking
So,
about,
and
you know, cancer is a symptom of another problem, right?
yeah,
And so I wonder, you know, it's my contention anyway, reading Gabor Mate and other, you know, books from psychologists, psychiatrists, and Gabor Mate was the head psychiatrist of East Hastings in Vancouver for 12 years. I mean, this guy knows dysfunction, and he's a
yeah.
beautiful, beautiful soul. But in reading his books, he would say unequivocally that your childhood broke down your biological system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it would have been a generational thing in my family, because my whole family is dysfunctional,
Right.
like from great grandparents all the way forward.
As
And
is,
I stopped that with me.
as is mine.
Yeah. So where is it here? I wasn't born disabled. It happened slowly over years, documented, investigated, diagnosed, and medically validated. People see the work, they see the output. They don't see the days I've struggled to even see the computer screen because I push too hard and my eyes won't focus, even with my glasses on. That's pigment dispersion syndrome and glaucoma, which is what I'm being watched for.
Right.
So the color pigment in my eyes ends up leaking, and that's what creates the floaters, and I can't see very well.
Oh, well. Well,
Yeah.
yep.
And that's what happens when I burn the candle at both ends and I'm working on documents until 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh,
Right?
I know.
But people don't see that, right?
I know.
They don't see the biweekly immunotherapy, the swelling and pain flares, the Hizentra causes, which is the blood product that I'm on. And what that is derived of is people that go in and they donate blood their plasma ends up being spun down and their immune system antibodies are put into vials or into preloaded syringes that I then inject into my body because I do not have them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that keeps me from catching what my kids bring home from school. Because when I do catch it, not if, when I do catch it, it's months, not weeks, and multiple rounds of antibiotics and steroids in order to get over a cold, Gavin. So they don't see the episodic anxiety and depression. After my first job, I went back to school. I wanted to be an esthetician, do waxing, acrylic nails, makeup, make people feel pampered and beautiful. $15,000 for the program, and they wouldn't let me graduate. They told me you're too fat to be in the beauty industry.
Whoa.
That's what I was told. Yeah. That was early in my diagnostic process. I didn't know yet why I was so heavy or why losing weight was so hard. It's amazing what stress and hormone imbalance will do to a body, but I didn't have the medical wording yet. I would love to be able to work. I would love to be off government assistance. The hoops, the proof you have to produce at a moment's notice. It took me a long time to finally admit I wasn't going to be able to go back to work. My whole family saw me as useless, lazy, and a waste of money, even after watching me struggle for years with my mental health. And them all pushing for me to apply to be on AISH. It didn't validate my existence getting AISH, and the abuse didn't stop, it just shifted. There's nothing anyone could say or imply that I haven't already heard. But if you think for 1 second that anyone owes you an explanation for their existence, that's where you're wrong. I will never let someone who doesn't live in my body, who doesn't know my limits, dictate what I can and can't do based on their opinion. It's taken me decades to learn how to advocate for myself. Years of advocating for my 3 neurodivergent children has taught me more about autonomy than my entire life before them. They are why I won't stop. My own fight and my steady decline are the other side of it. I am raising the next generation of disabled people, the ones who will need these supports, who will need people like me to carry this on when I'm gone. I won't live forever. It sucks, but that's reality. I won't stop. I won't give up. I will always keep fighting. And one more thing for everyone reading who gets hit with this. You don't owe every troll your life story or your diagnostic history. I shared mine because I chose to. You don't have to. So the next time someone says you don't look disabled, just reply, funny, you don't look like an asshole. Guess where we both can be wrong.
Amen.
Yeah.
One of my, one of my favorite lines of all time.
Yep.
Well, you don't look disabled. Well, you don't look like an asshole. Yeah. I mean, how do
That's
you
why
know?
I had to put that in there. It was a total shout out to you.
Yeah, thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate being mentioned, if not just by proxy. And how true. I mean, there's a few times I wanted to stop you there, but no, why, right? Like, get it out. We live in a world that is not conducive to mental, biological, sociological health.
Yeah.
And we can just use one thing for each of those. Our psychology cannot be mitigated properly in such a self-interested society, number one, with no accountability. Number two, our biology with the kind of shit food we're eating and everything else, we could start there. And the fact that our psychology from a young age is going to affect everything top down. The way in which we're structured socially hasn't worked since we began it, this experiment, especially post World War II, on a grid system and separation and everything else. So these are the reasons that we and some people, some people are not meant for capitalism. Some people do not do capitalism well, and it's okay not to. It's okay to find your strength in life and do that. You see, back probably 10 years ago now, I'm going to say, more or less, I worked at Axe Music in Calgary. selling musical instruments. Now, you might think that being a musician, that would be a great job for me. It was painful beyond belief every fucking day I went there. Not only did I have a girlfriend at the time that wouldn't let me leave the house without calling me a twat or a cunt or whatever 20 times before I left the house. And therefore, I was late for work every day because I had to listen to that until I finally didn't listen to it anymore. But then when I went to a job in which I am not, like, it is anathema to me to try and convince anybody to buy anything. If you want it, get it. If you don't, don't. That's and you don't need a salesman to tell you that. You know what you want better than I ever will. And just my friendship by saying, hey, Gavin, I want to go buy a set of drums. What do you recommend? I can recommend that as a friend. I don't need to be a fucking salesman. I just have to be your friend. And I failed miserably at that job. Like horribly. I couldn't make a dime. It was, what do you call it when you work for commission? It was commission sales. And then they put us on wage, but your wage would be deducted by what you made. And so you would be deducted. They paid $900 a month, which is shit. And then you would be deducted with every sale you made of that 900 until you got over that 900. So, I mean, I couldn't do it. I was depressed the whole time, fell into major depression that whole time. You know, anxiety, depression, clinical, crying and shaking and couldn't get out of bed depression, I'm talking about, which is really my life story outside of music and everything else. And I finally, who is still a good friend to this day, finally fired me. The owner of Axe fired me. He said, he can't fucking do this anymore. We need somebody in here that can do this job. And it was probably, even though I knew I was going to suffer financially, it was one of the best days of my life to leave that fucking place. And then I just got, busier gigging or trying to find, gig work and stuff like that. We're not everybody in the world is meant for one thing, right? And you should have the luxury of saying, no, I don't do that well. I do this well, but this is just as remunerated as that other thing. And it's only because music and art, unless you're Britney fucking Spears, you don't get remunerated to an obscene amount of money, that I fell into financial difficulty. I don't smoke dope. I don't drink alcohol. I smoke cigarettes. And because I got this letter today, I won't be quitting smoking today. I can tell you that. But we're not all cut out for the same thing. That's what makes us unique and beautiful. And so let me see. Has anybody say anything? Pam, yeah, you lost your teeth.
Teeth are overrated.
Say that again. Teeth are, yeah, I wear mine out. I don't wear them on the podcast, but I do wear them out because, I don't know, it's part of, I'm a Leo, okay? I'm a Leo. And I like nice things and I like nice smelling things. It's just how I was created. As a matter of fact, I'm probably going to start, if AISH doesn't kick the fuck out of me, ADAP or whatever, I want to start making my own perfume, like high-end perfume, like oud wood and oak moss and like high-end ingredients. And
well, now would be the time if you want to be an entrepreneur. It's still employment.
Well, it is, and I'll look into it. It's either that or I'm going to go back to school to be a doctor. And then by the time I graduate, I'll be dead and AISH can fuck off. And they...
I was contemplating the, the education route too.
Yeah, they can kiss my ass. You could put me through school and pay me, and I'll be dead before any of it materializes. But thank you very much. You want to play fucking games? We can play games. How's that?
Fucking hate Gavin.
Like, you're the only smart one in the room? Is that what you're telling me? Jesus Christ. Stupid people. And we meet them.
Yeah, these employment officers that we're going to be meeting have no idea what's fucking coming their way, do they?
No, they don't. And I think everyone in that fucking room, instead of playing to their tune and being status quo and polite bourgeoisie, should just say, you know what, you're an idiot, and you don't know what the fuck I want. You don't know what I need. You don't know who I am. So just give me your spiel and fuck off. That's the best that should be said of these people, because they are complicit. They are complicit in this entire structure. You do not need to sit there politely and go, oh, no, okay, I want to, no, fuck that.
Yeah.
These people are undeserving of your grace.
Mm-hmm.
They are deserving of your ire. Now, don't physically touch them. Don't hurt them physically. But we have free speech in Canada. And you could use your free speech to tell somebody exactly what you think of them, because that's what they are, or that's what they're being. Right? I never called my kids an asshole, but I might have said, you're acting like an asshole today. So don't act like that, because you're not that. Act like the wonderful kid you are. And I would say the same thing to somebody trying to teach me how to write a resume. Yeah, my resume is fucking extensive. It is pages long. But it's all in art. It's all in music. And nobody's going to teach me how to write a resume, and nobody's going to disrespect me that way. And I hope they don't try to disrespect you that way. And I don't say that because I'm special. We're all special. And by God, I wish we'd wake up to that reality.
Yeah.
How special we are as human beings. We don't get it, man. We don't get that we should own as much geography as Jeff Bezos does. Meaning that Jeff Bezos shouldn't have what he has, and we should have nothing.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney shouldn't be worth $1 billion to my zero. You see, we got it all fucking ass backwards. It's thanks to this thing we call capitalism and unregulated now, beating us down every day. And we don't do capitalism well. Most people I meet that are emotional or depressed or anxious literally do not do capitalism well. That's part of their problem. They have gifts, they have ability coming out the wazoo. They are masterful in some respects and nowhere to put it. And even Jordan Peterson said, the actual life of an artist, if they cannot perform or create, it will literally kill them. It will literally destroy them. And that's true. I know that from experience. But it's literally true that the creative spirit in which we all are, the true creative spirit will fold and die under conditions in which they cannot create and not meet those conditions. And it is really the sick individual that can go out and sell their human worth for a mess of pottage in order to cut a check. Like the chick I talked to on AISH today. That is a sickness, ladies and gentlemen. That's the sickness. So we have to stand up for ourselves and say, fuck you. We're going to create a world in which we operate and in which our strengths are absolutely necessary. Because they are necessary. Love, philosophy, science, medicine, art are all necessary to the human condition and to the survival of a species. So, once again, I sound like Jimmy Swaggart, for God's sakes.
I have to laugh. Somebody just posted regarding my picture there of me holding up my my letter from ADAP regarding the transition. The lady in the photo can get her nails done. How can one afford that? These are my real nails, ladies and gentlemen. I paint them my damn self.
Oh, is that what? Did they say that in the chat?
Yeah. Well, no, in the Facebook group. Like, oh my goodness. I have a nail file.
Right.
And I have nail polish.
Right.
Like, good Lord.
Right.
I do not go in and get them professionally done. I fixed my nails the other night with you on Zoom.
Right.
Like, give me a break.
Well, once again, assumptions and opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, and
Unbelievable.
and it seems to me that your asshole is actually worth more than your opinion. What is that?
My nail polish.
Oh yeah, no,
And my daughter has her own colors too. I do all this shit at home.
yeah. Why don't you ask me how I afford this chair? Why don't you? You fucking
Exactly.
you fucking dummy. Jesus Christ. Pam says here, I don't feel that I'm that special. Well, you're not supposed to feel like you're special, Pam. I love you. You know that. But you're not supposed to feel special. You're supposed to know that you're special. And
Yeah.
the knowing of a thing goes beyond the feeling of a thing. It's kind of like love, right? You know, you've been in relationships, Pam, we all have, where you didn't feel like you loved the person that day, but because of your integrity, you were committed to loving them because that's a choice, right? So, do I feel that I'm worth everything every day? No. But when somebody tries to take that away from me, Pam, I don't know what it is about me, but I can't put up with it. I will, you know what I mean? I will literally beat you into the ground if I have to get my autonomy back. Nobody's going to keep me locked in a basement in a ball gag and a gimp suit. Nobody is going to do that to me. And nobody should be able to do with you. And that's self-respect. That's not feeling like you love yourself. That's self-respect. Where do you find self-respect? I think it's by going back to your childhood, ascertaining what hurt you, realizing that the child in you is not the damaged one, it's the perfect one, and you, the way you are today, is the damaged one that needs the child to lead you through the rest of your existence, to remind you of all amazing things that you thought of as being that child, right? And that's the work we talked about, Pam, and it's work I did a few years ago where I went back and I met the child in me. I met myself in the back seat of my dad's car, of my parents' old station wagon. I'll regale you for a minute as to what that meant, because I think it's important that people understand how to gain self-respect. So I have hated myself my entire life. I have played the Miss America Gala. I have played all over the world, Russia, Paris. I played with Sweet, Joan Rivers, the Coaster Drifters Platters. I recorded over 100 records, and every day I hated myself. I should have been the proudest motherfucker on the planet, and I hated who I was. And there were reasons for that. So once I got on good medication, number one, which really changed things for me, I went and I spoke with a kind of a therapist, kind of a spiritual therapist, but and I don't brag about people like that because I think we used to just call them friends, okay? And they didn't charge you money. They were just your friends. They'd help you. But she took me through this process of going back to meet myself at like 8 years old. And for me, that meant going back to one circumstance. I ran away from home 12 times. I tried to kill myself when I was a kid in as many times. And of course, it didn't work because I was just in pain and I was reaching out and crying out for help, which I never really got. But this one time I ran away at 8 years old, probably about 200 to 300 miles from my house, hitchhiked. At 8 years old, I hitchhiked 300 miles away from my house. And a gentleman picked me up, an older gentleman. Really nice guy, really nice old guy. I remember him I don't remember his face entirely, but craggy and, but friendly, right? And so I hopped in his truck and he said, "Hey, where are you going?" And I'm like, "Oh, fuck, nice guy," I'm like, "Well, I'm just kind of, I'm just going to see family," or I probably lied to him, or I don't even remember what I said. But so he started driving, and literally I got 200, 300 miles away from Moncton, New Brunswick. And along the drive, he said, "I have a train set in my basement with, caves and, tunnels and everything." And I'm like, "Oh my God, I'd love to see that." And he's like, "Yeah, you can come to my house, and you can have fun with that. And I'm like, fucking A, right? So before we actually got to his house, he wanted to stop for something to eat. And so we stopped at a roadside diner. I hope I'm not going to bore anybody with this story, but I feel like it's a story to tell. And so we went into the diner and sat down, and the waitress came over. And something was a little off to her. And, he asked me, what do you want to order? And I can't remember what I did, but the lady went to the back after taking our order. I think she came back with a drink or something, maybe a few minutes later. And then she was gone for quite a while, never came back. And all of a sudden, the old man says, I got to get up and I got to go to the bathroom. So he gets up and goes to the bathroom. And about that same time, the RCMP walked in the front door. Well, it turns out that this guy was a convicted pedophile. And it wasn't necessarily a train set he had in his basement. It was more like meat hooks and cleavers. And of course, the cops didn't tell me that at that moment. They just came over, and when the old guy came out of the can, I remember looking to the cash register and seeing him come out of the bathroom, and then all of a sudden he was gone. And the RCMP stayed with me for like 2 hours. We never left the roadside diner. But I kept asking, where's the old man? Where's the old man? I mean, this was my ticket. This was my ticket out of a horrible life. And finally, about 2 hours later, 3 hours later, my parents, I look at the front door, and my parents walk through the front door. I'm like, fuck. Ugh. Right? And my dad looked concerned, but only for the cops. Only for the sake of the cops. My mom was crying because that's what my mom does. And they came over and they went talked to my parents, and then my parents took me and we got in the car to drive away. I still had no idea, and I was really pissed off that I saw my dad instead of the old man. And so we started driving down the street or down the highway, and I was kind of depressed, kind of upset, not depressed, upset that the old man was gone, and now I'm driving back with my parents that I was trying to run away from because all my dad did was beat me, right? And we didn't even get further than the eye shot of the roadhouse, the diner. And my dad looks in the back seat of me and he goes, "What's your problem?" And I was, I was upset, right? I was like, "Nothing." And he's like, "Do you want me to stop this fucking car right now? I'll stop the car right now." I'm like, I kind of like that idea. I kind of hope you do. And he literally stopped the car and he said, "Get the fuck out of the car right now." 8 years old. It didn't even register in my mind as to a choice. I opened the door and I walked out of the car, and I was literally just going to start hitchhiking again. And because he could still see the diner from there, he went over and threw me back in the back seat because he didn't want the cops to be aware of, the RCMP. So this therapist that I was with had me go back to that moment in the station wagon, the brown paneled station wagon of the 70s, open the door and climb into the back seat with myself. And the moment that represented to me, she said, "Like, what are you feeling?" I said, "Well, I don't know. I don't know how I feel at the moment." And she said, "Well, can you tell him that it's okay? Can you tell him you succeeded?" And I said, "Fuck no. I can't tell him I'm okay. And I can't tell him I've succeeded because I'm on AISH. That's not a success story to me." And I said, "This kid, you don't understand how powerful that child is. Me, the 8-year-old. He can smell bullshit a mile away." And I said, "The only thing that he's doing right now is looking at me and saying, when are we going to get on with it? When are we going to live the life that I can lead?" And that moment, I understand that this is hyperbolic, that the actual event never took place. I'm not being romantic about this, but that encounter really changed the way I saw myself forever. I realized that I couldn't lie to him and tell him that I wasn't the damaged one, but he could tell me the truth and tell me that I'm not damaged. I'm ready to go. What have we been waiting for? And it blew me away. It literally blew me away. So when people say to me, you have to protect the child inside, I'm like, no, no, no. He's protecting me. He's protecting me at my age. Now, I don't know what that does for anybody, if it does anything for anybody, but it was realizing my worth. And I couldn't realize the worth of a broken 60-year-old. But I could realize it in who I actually am. The thesis ship of my 8-year-old self. I knew what it was to be great, to be fully human and alive and unstoppable. And so I carry him with me, or maybe he carries me. I don't know. But I return to him every so often and I ask him, how are we doing? And I think he's kind of satisfied. He's like, fucking A. We're going after the government today, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, fucking A. I can't wait. This is his excitement in my grown body. This is the 8-year-old that used to, practice nunchucks and, boxing and drums and theater. And so, I think that kind of work is something we can all undertake. I think it's really valuable to us as human beings. Because I did it. I went back. And I realized I'm not the big man I thought I was. The big man is the 8-year-old. He's the big man. And that blew me away. I hope you understand. Do you understand that, Chantal? Or
Yeah.
did I just waste a lot of time?
No.
Okay.
I hear you.
That's me
I'm
being...
I'm scrolling. I was scrolling through Facebook while you were talking, so it was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
People really have this hate on that. Apparently, Gavin, I get my hair done, I get my nails done, and I had makeup on in the picture of me holding the letter, which I didn't. But thanks. I'm glad I look good. I do my own hair, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, how much does a Flowbee cost, right? Like, come on, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing my kids' hair and my hair since we got the first autism diagnosis. Because my kids don't like being touched by strangers, right? So I do that. And I learned that all by watching YouTube tutorials. So it's like, seriously? Hey, if people think that my nails look awesome, that's great. But I do them at my desk myself, and they're not press-ons, they're not acrylic, they are my nails. I'm so proud of that.
Well, no, I mean, you have beautiful nails. Mine are, no Leon's here either, or Lee's press-on.
We can get you some press-ons. We'll get you some gold-tipped ones.
I think I'm okay, but I appreciate the sentiment. Once again, people have not taken the hero's journey in their own life, Chantal. And so they live in the matrix. They live in judgment. They live in their own fear. They live with what a government or their daddy tells them. They only cross the street when it says walk. These people are the matrix. And you don't, of course, you don't have to entertain it. Pam says,
I just think it's funny.
Well, it's funny and it's sad. I think it's sad that we are not provoked by our neighbors and by our friends and by society to take that kind of journey. And that's what we would do. We'd all be at least emotionally healthier people if we were in community that way. And therefore, we would be more biologically sound and we would be more sociologically sound. Pam says, thank you so very much. And even if you didn't get them professionally done, disabled people are allowed to have nice things every once in a while. You're fucking right, they are, SMB. Yep. Every day of their lives, it's okay. It's okay to pamper yourself. It's okay to buy nail polish when you do your own fucking nails. You know what I mean? That's okay. Yep. Pam says, you are important, Gavin and Chantal. Well, you didn't capitalize my name. You did Chantal. I'm kidding, Pam. I don't give a shit. You are important, Gavin and Chantal. Everyone is important. Goddamn right. And Pam, you say I don't feel that I'm special. Well, I don't feel I'm special. I know I'm. It's not special, right? The word is not special because you're special just like everybody else. The word is that you love who you are, your benefit to a world that would not be the same without you, and your strengths are absolutely necessary on the planet. That without you, the planet would be a different place and a not so good place. Not as good as if you existed. And Pam, every day we go out and protest together, you are the joy of my life. You are that joy that I seek. And that's you. That's your special contribution. And that's you doing you. And that's all you have to do. Your government wants to take this away. They also want you to ensure that you don't feel special. But you don't have to feel that way. You are. Nature already gave you the right. Thank you so very much. She says, I went to think yesterday at the river just to think. Yeah, I mean, that's nature, right? Why do you think we go to nature? Why do you think we go to nature in these moments? Because it's nature that dictates our existence. And it's by nature and by the social contract that nature has provided that every day it tries to tell us that we belong. It's everyone around you that tells you you don't. It's the government. It's arrogance and ignorance and self-interest where people try to raise themselves above the natural law of being. Now, I don't want that to sound spiritual because it's not. It's just true. And therefore, I'm able to love who I am, even in my bad moments, because I know I won't stay there. And I can do good things for me only because I know, not even believe, I know that nature itself has granted me the right to exist. And when I go back to my 8-year-old self, he tells me, dude, I've been here since I was 8. When are we getting on with it? That's all he wants to know. Pain be damned. Not that my pain isn't important, but it's not important to him. He's got too much to do. You see?
Yeah.
He's got a life to live. And he's only been asking me, when are we done that? Like, get back to me when you're done that. Your pain is your circumstance. Your pain is what you went through. I didn't go through it, he says. And yet he was invalidated. He was sexually molested. He was physically abused and rhetorically abused, verbally abused, if you will. But none of that mattered to him because every day was new and every day was special and every day had hope and every day had opportunity to be better and to achieve what the world had demanded we go do. And that's the kind of world we want to live in, where every day your brothers and sisters demand of you to use your ability and strength. Not to dig a ditch, but what's Pam about? Well, Pam loves to do this. Then Pam, do that because nobody can do it better than you. It brings you joy and happiness and peace. And I know these things sound romantic, but if you would have asked a Mesopotamian, they wouldn't have said that sounded romantic at all. They would have said, what the hell are you talking about? Of course. We have bastardized the world we live in. It's time to take that world back. That's what I believe. Peacefully, as non-aggressively as humanly possible, but demanding and loud and proud. Okay. I really think I sound like a preacher right now. I really, really do.
That's okay. Sometimes we need that in the program.
Yeah. It's bugging the shit out of me. I hope it's not bothering anybody else. Um, you're all great. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. What time are we at? Well, we're at 5:36. We blah blah blah. Anything on your heart? I mean, I've been spilling my guts here. I really feel like maybe I just have to do that today.
I'm just checking the spam on the page. Oh my goodness. We're at 1,200 members on the Facebook group now.
On the really 400.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, 1,200.
1,200. Oh shit, sorry. 1,200. Wow. Wow. Yeah, I can't see my like, can you see the YouTube?
Yeah.
Does it say
It says 4 watching now.
okay, mine for whatever reason has said 1 waiting since I started the podcast. So I don't know what that is. You know, I would love for you people to speak as to how you feel about my ethos about, you know, here's the thing, we're not going to get shit done until we like us first. I mean, you might be able to get through not liking who you are and still doing something, but it's far greater and far more potent when you like who you are, when you love you.
Yep.
You know, it really brings forth the meaning of your life. And the funny thing about loving yourself is that you would think that that's just a very selfish thing. Oh, and I love me. But no, no, no. That's not how it's used. That's not how you use the love of yourself, or what naturally is derived from it. What is derived from it is an immediately love for everyone, because you understand everyone, because you realize how closely tied we are together as one species. You realize, oh, that guy's an asshole, but I'm an asshole. I was an asshole today. Why shouldn't he be one? I get it. Now, you know, you don't have to put up with assholes. You don't have to be in the same geography as them. But understanding them and being able to give them, you know, a break and just say, look, you're an asshole and I'm going to walk away. But my God, please go ahead, fill your boots, be an asshole, you know, because you understand I could be just like that too. And it makes you love people instead of hate them. And then your ire is directed all in the right area, which is toward systems, things, constructions, scaffoldings, all of these things. It's not directed at people anymore. They can't change your situation if they fucking tried. It's against the structure. It's against the entirety of a system that is holding itself up in all arrogance and narcissism, at the same time pushing you down into the ground, making you feel like a worm. That's why you feel like you can't love yourself. You feel it. But that's why, because you're oppressed, you're pressed down. You can't breathe, you have no oxygen. That's why you need to be lifted up. That's why you have brothers and sisters. That's why you have beautiful people in your life. That's why Chantal and I exist. You know? And I hope you really, you know, I hope people out there understand that. That's what that is. When you start loving yourself, you will love practically everyone, and you'll be able to connect better to everyone you meet. You may even find that your social anxiety lifts, because now you're not thinking about yourself in the situation. Oh, me, 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 me. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I did that for years. But I was always thinking about myself in the situation, right? And and when I started thinking about other people, and when I could look at them and go, oh, fuck, they're just as nervous as I am right now, and they don't know what to say, then I'd say something. And then that would be their, you know, their own anxiety go, well, you know, and I realized, oh my God, we were just playing the same game. You know, because back then I thought I was better than them, or I thought they were better than me.
Yeah.
Right. And neither of those is true. So your interactions get stronger. And, you know, maybe that's why I could even stumble through the protest, somebody else's protest that I actually had to speak at, you know, because fuck, if you would have asked me to do that 10 years ago, I would have needed Depends to get up there. I would have been pooping myself. Sorry, I feel like, I don't know, maybe today I just was cathartic for me. You know, I'm feeling something because of this thing that I think I might go wipe my ass with. Yeah.
We'll photocopy it first, okay? Keep the original, because that's all documentation, Gavin.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Yeah, come on. What's a stain or two?
Yeah, that's true.
No, I get
Send
you.
it back.
I get you. No, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I can't keep paper like that. But, you know, we're really coming up to a moment, ladies and gentlemen, you know, like this is where we activate. This is where we, you know, action. Tomorrow there will be a protest at Riley Park that Pam and me and whoever else wants to take the journey will be at 5:30 to 8:30, I think. So I don't know about the podcast tomorrow, Chantal, because we're also meeting to protest at noon tomorrow.
Yeah.
So maybe we should hold off on the podcast tomorrow.
Well, that and your guys' protest is from 5:30 to 8 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
the one in Edmonton is from 11:15 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Oh, wow, you guys are going then, huh?
Yeah. And then it's 12 to 1 in St. Albert, but I figured there's a lot more people going to the one in Edmonton, so that's where I'm going.
Yeah. That's why I want to go to Riley Park. We have 3 in Calgary. And I may be speaking at a few if somebody ever gets back to me. Let me check my email real quick. Has anybody reached out and touched someone? No. So it's a little late, you know. I might be $1 short. You know, on that, but I tried. I tried to get in on that. So I guess we maybe tomorrow we won't do the podcast. We'll reconvene on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should have a lot of videos as to what we see and what we hear at our respective protests tomorrow.
Amen. Amen. It'll be very soon as I move in, that I'll have my gimbal back. And and my drone again.
Yeah.
I could fly my drone around over the crowd, you know. So but I won't be able to handle that tomorrow. But yes, probably have a lot to edit this weekend. Have we finished with Lougheed? Did we finish?
For the most part, I know that there's a couple more pages. If we want to finish those up, we can.
Well,
but we can always hold off until the next one.
Yeah, why don't we do that Monday, and then by then I'll have a chance to edit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. How are you feeling?
Good.
Yeah? I mean, you look good. Maybe I just feel guilty because I've spoken so much today.
Oh no, everything's good. I can't help but chuckle to myself. There's a lot of trolls in the group that are appearing, and they've got to be UCP bots.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I'm not worried about it. It's like, whatever.
And so they're talking about your nails, and they're talking about your hair. Anything else? Regale us. Is there anything?
That I had makeup on in the one picture that I took. Oh, where the heck is it? The one where my nails are visible because I'm holding my my letter. I just thought that was hilarious.
So they're trying to discredit.
I went to school for this shit. Like, I should know how to do my nails.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, well, if you
it's just
go to
funny.
school, you should be working.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, these people don't have a fucking, yeah, they got holes in their heads, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, they haven't taken the hero's journey, that journey from an unhealthy mind to a healthy mind, to one that understands humanity and can therefore love themselves. Although if it's a bot, it neither knows love nor hate,
Yeah.
which is a pretty fucking sad state for the world to be in, AI these days.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so let me just thank you. I realize, yes, what? You're all great. Thank you. I realize, yes, brother and sister. Day late and a dollar short. Thank you, Pam. I couldn't remember the day late part. Um, bring cards. Yeah, okay. I only have 3 left, she says, tomorrow. Of course. Those will be in
Did you
my.
show Pam the new cards?
Hell yeah, we handed them out on Monday. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, they are impressive. They. Mm, I
Yeah,
will.
I haven't asked Pam what her take was on the new cards yet.
Pam, what did you think of the cards? She can tell you in the chitty chat. Boom. I mean, it's a little blurry. I've got like a Gaussian blur on that, but that's my side, or this our side, and I give Chantal all credit here. That's the sorry, what do you call it?
Yeah, that's the Alberta disability breakdown
Right.
side. So that's
Okay.
the documentation side. So the not so emotional and passionate side.
Right. Yeah. So you have your pragmatic real life here, and then you have bitchy right there. Okay. So you got the best of both worlds. All right. You got completely emotional on one side and completely pragmatic on the other. Couldn't be better. So that's that, and they are beautiful. Like if you when you see these in person, they pop like nobody's business, man. They're amazing. And they have QR codes, both my side. There's a QR code where you can join the podcast immediately, or on Chantel's side, where you can get all that pragmatic information that you have long been waiting for and wanting and needing. So that is that. And that came courtesy of Chantel. Thank God there were only 1,000 of them. Yeah, no.
Hey, I've only got what like 200 left in mine
Jesus.
from the original cards, and then I'll be upgrading to the new ones.
Right, right. Yeah, she gave me the luxury of being ahead of the game and handing out the new cards, and so that's what I'm doing because I love the new card, but I don't love it the same way I love people. I love people differently. It's that saying. It used to be that we love people and use things, and now
Yeah.
we use people and love things. You know, I like that one too. And to leave you people with the one that Chantel liked the most, if I can find it here. It's difficult to get a man. It's difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends on his not understanding it. It's pretty powerful. Upton Sinclair said that, and it couldn't be more true. So if you want to sign off, we can do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think that's a good spot to stop for today.
Yeah. God bless you, Pam. Or the Great Gazoo. We haven't figured that one out yet. It's either God or the Great Gazoo. Chantel, thank you for indulging me today.
Absolutely. I do it 4 days a week. It's all good.
Oh, right there. And then you twist it. And then you twist it. No, I mean, if either one of us gets into politics, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the kind of banter that we will be needing on a daily basis, each and every one of us. So,
Yep.
And we're thinking about that too. It's not quite
Well,
as
it's only
necessary.
$500 to run.
Yeah, so yeah, it's $1,000 to run for mayor in Calgary. But of course, that's the registration fee.
Yep.
The tens of hundreds of thousands of people use. Of course, we can't avail ourselves of. But you never know. Somebody step up and say, "I think you're the man. You're the woman."
Yep.
You never know, right? But I wouldn't want to spend $100,000 on anything except a down payment on a house. Really.
Yep.
Why would I ever spend $100,000 on politics? Jesus Christ.
No, I guess if you had the money to burn a hole in your pocket, that'd be a different story.
Mm.
If it was just, like picking up $1 off the sidewalk, right? It didn't have any actual meaning to your existence, but that's a lot of money. But we're totally open to having, a what is it called? Somebody that wants to put us forward there.
Yes, sponsorship or
That's it.
something like that. We will of course take no corporate money. But if there is an angel investor out there that believes that the world should just be a better place, we can talk. We will not commit, but we could talk. And the only thing that I know is if I were ever to take a dime from anybody, they would have to know that, number one, I will not do your bidding at all unless it aligns with the demos, with the greatest number of individuals, and I will do it my own way.
Yep.
Right. If you don't like me using the word shit, then don't give me a red cent. Because the word shit will come out of my mouth, and it will be directed at the right sources.
Yep.
If you want me to speak a certain way, if you want me to dance like a fucking monkey, take your money and go away. This will be done on my terms and the terms of the people. That's all I can say.
Yep.
Same with you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't I wouldn't trade my morals for anything.
No. It's your integrity, man. It's who you are, right?
Yeah.
And we already know what it looks like. You tried with your mom and it almost destroyed you to become something you weren't.
Yeah.
So I won't do that again. I did it in the
Nope.
music industry for 35 years. Every day, I had to be somebody different. Nice, compliant, respectful.
Yep.
It was only
Following somebody else's motions.
Yeah, get to the fucking car by 7 a.m. Jesus, I'll tell you one thing, man. I was with Alanis Morissette's agent, an agency when I was in Vegas once, and we were flying out of Vegas back to Vancouver to do a gig, just having finished the Miss America Gala in Vegas. So I didn't want to fuck up the gig, right? Because I'd already talked to Lincoln Park's manager. He loved my playing. Things were going well, right? So I made sure I got to the van before 7 a.m., right? Got there maybe 10 to, right? Alanis Morissette's manager just hired a new assistant, right? And she showed up about 2 minutes after 7 o'clock, at 7 a.m. And this guy was going berserk before she arrived, going, "Where the fuck is this bitch? Where the fuck is she?" When she got into the car, he literally, if you could physically damage somebody with words, this guy annihilated her. It was a holocaust. I mean, he just stripped her of every part of her humanity. She was bawling. She was undone, man. All at the expense of this fucking asshole in this van. And it disgusted me. It literally made me sick. And I put my hand on her shoulder. And unlike Jeremy Fuckus, I call him, Jeremy Fuckus's secretary, she let me put my hand on her shoulder. And I just said, I hope you're okay. Are you okay? It's okay. It's all right. It's all right. She knew her job was done. She knew it. And so I will never, never, ever play by somebody else's rules. I will die penniless before anybody ever treats me like that.
Well, we're here for a good time, not a long time, right?
For a dead time, not a long time. So
for
have
a good time. Good time, not a
we're
long
here for
time.
a good time. Right, right. So have a good time. The sun can't shine every day. And thank you, Trooper, for that. Yeah, well, that's just it, right? And I think that's important to establish yourself now, to establish yourself with great people. Right here I'm talking about. And people that will literally beat you up if you try and do anything different. And I would say that if I ever tried to do anything different, I would hope I would have the integrity to walk away before I ever damaged anything. I want to see people happy.
Yeah.
That's what I want. And if I could be happy, that'd be nice too. I'm not that bad, you know? I'm not that bad. I'm doing okay. I could use a date, but I'll wait until I get into my apartment. And then maybe take somebody out. Love you, ladies and gentlemen. You're amazing. I will have to rewatch the podcast because I missed some of it. I was talking with my future in-laws. Next spring, Yaz and I will tie the knot. Oh, and you already said congrats.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Oh. A true success story. Rags to riches, ladies and gentlemen. Right there, right in real time. Love it. That's what the world's all about. Right? Happy times. Okay. Love you all. And we'll see you on Monday. We will not be doing one tomorrow because both Chantal and I, well, me in particular, because it's right when the podcast is, will not be able to join you. But we're both heading to the union protest tomorrow. And when I talked to the union lady, I said, you know, we're moving into a paradigm now, into a moment, into an epoch where all classes need to align. And this chick was like, amen. Like, she's really cool. She was really cool. And and she gets it. She knows. She knows we need to be sticking together.
Well, I'm definitely traveling light tomorrow for this protest because it's not one that I've really amplified, and I'm not the person putting it on. So I'm traveling light. I'm just coming with my banner, and that's about it.
Well, it's a heavy banner.
No, it can be.
Yeah, nothing light about that. But good for you. Because once again, that banner is a statement. Like it just is. You know, it's like what would you call it? Like a lighthouse. You know? People just gravitate toward it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, much love. Much courage to all of us in this moment. And be well. All right?